Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Costume Co. back for another episode of Game of Queens with the lovely, the talented, the beautiful Tatiana.
Stop.
Hello, darling.
Stop. I'm gonna blush.
I was just saying to
Yeah.
Tatiana right before we started that every time this is like what our sixth episode, you keep
Seventh,
adding more.
actually.
Is it 5 or 6?
Seventh.
Wow. Well,
Because
I think we
the
missed one. I think we missed one.
season 6, season 8, and then this one.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is 7. Okay, so she keeps adding more stuff to the background of her set. So you want talk for a second, and everyone will see it. Well, here I'll click on you. She's got this robe. That's what I keep looking at. Is that robe you have with the boa feathers? What is that?
Pink rose boa feather thing that I wore once.
I love it.
Like a few years ago, and still here as decoration. And then my Stark blankie that is super soft and silky, and then all my scarves and belts that just I'm just trying to get all the colors here, all the sigils. Oh, and then my fan.
Your like your face fan or a ceiling fan?
No,
or like floor fan.
My black fan that's right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yes.
Yes, I'm just trying to get I just want to like equal sigil colors thing here. So,
awesome.
And
well, I'm wearing red. I'm wearing red. I'm wearing Danny colors. I've got red and black and sort of a white. And then I've got my crown. Sorry, guys, my crown is totally falling off. It sort of like suits me. I think with my crown, I'm like Joffrey.
Yeah,
crown falling off my head.
Oh, and the Baratheon it's represented by my very delicious mango smoothie. Homemade.
I love it.
Mango.
And tell everyone what your glass says. It's really cute.
Oh, it says I'll be Irish in a few beers.
In a few beers, yeah. And then what's that ring you're wearing? That's beautiful.
I think it's just a red dress that I had. It's to represent both the Targaryen and the Lannisters because they have red.
No, that's beautiful too. No, I mean the ring on your finger. What's that ring?
This ring. Oh yeah, this is actually a bit old. I've had this since like I was 18. It was for my prom. And then
but it's got like metal fringe on it or something.
Here,
metal fringe. Yeah, it's got like chain fringe. That's very cool.
Very medieval and all that.
So, we don't have a lot of people quite yet. Well, so guys, what we're going to do today is has everyone seen the documentary?
I did.
The Last Watch, which was a really great name for the documentary, and I loved it. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff we saw in it, and also just any final thoughts we sort of have for the season. If anybody has any comments they want to leave in the chat or questions, just something you want us to chat about, we can talk about it. And also, Tatiana and I did what did we do? We did a top 20. Top 20 best
from season 8.
Yeah, it was funny because I had someone who was upset because Marjorie wasn't on the list.
Yeah, but she's there in memory. She's there in Sansa. Sansa evoked her memory.
And then someone chimed in to say yes and Olenna. And I'm like, yeah, guys, I know. Anyway, so that was kind of, that was really sweet. She was just really cute. She was just like, I was like, oh, well, we have a best women's costumes. They're on there if you want to check out. And she's like, oh, I didn't mean to upset you. And I'm like, no. I just thought it was like, I had someone last year who said that the top 10 list should have been Tywin Lannister, number 1, Tywin, number 2, Tywin, number 3, Tywin. And I'm like, well, that's all very well and good, but Tywin's been dead, the entire season. So we couldn't have him on that list. As much as I adore Tywin. Who's here? So Cindy's here. And I thought Peter is here. Cindy is under the name Herman Bum's mom. Nice. So Cindy, does that mean that your son's name is Herman? Or Herman Bums? And Sonia's here. Hello. And then Sonia said, yep, I watched. So anyway, that video got really great response. I didn't have anybody, yell at us. We didn't have anybody yell at us or be mean to us.
Like the most we got was like a person saying that they didn't like Sansa's coronation dress, that it was a mess. Yeah. I was like, well, everybody has their tastes.
Yeah, I mean they're entitled. They weren't rude. I've had people who've been rude, but nobody was rude. I had one other person who didn't care for it either. And I said, that's fine,
Yeah.
But most people thought the list was really good. They thought it was, and they liked the pictures. That's one of the things. So one of the girls, I don't know, I think I know who she is. She said like she loved Sansa's feather dragon scale, whatever you want to call it, dress.
Whatever dress.
The whatever dress, but you couldn't see it in the Winterfell scene because it was so dark. So she was happy to see the Entertainment Weekly pictures because I think a lot of people, I mean, you and I are always like looking, like we're always on, look at this. But, a lot of people might not necessarily see those things. So, I think it's great. And also then, of course, Michelle Clapton. Sorry, I called Michelle Carriger Michelle Clapton. I had a couple of gaffes. You know what, Tatiana? No one said anything.
Yeah, I did.
No, I know you did. Of course you did. But no one noticed. So that was sort of funny. And then it was like I went back and I looked at another video I did. It was a top 20 I did, and I had top 10 in the title. And so anyway, I should just there's Easter egg gaffes. Find them for me.
Oh.
I just make a game out of it. You get a prize if you find all the gaffes. So we've got that video, and I think I put it in the link in the description below. So today we are going to look at, there's not many people here, but has everybody here seen the documentary? Hey, Vanessa. Oh, and Sonia says, my first live watch. Greetings from Belgium. Hello, Belgium. That's where the man from Brussels is. That's where the man from Brussels is from. The Brussels from
love your chocolate. I love the Belgian chocolate.
And they have great beer.
Oh.
And they have Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Mm.
And In Bruges was shot there, which is one of my favorite movies with Colin Farrell.
I sadly didn't get to go to Belgium the last time I was in Europe, but
And Vanessa, you're from South America, are you not? Oh, Vanessa, it was supposed to be at 6 p.m., but we couldn't get our acts together. Well, it's 6 p.m. EST. Maybe are you? In Bruges.
Here is 6 p.m.
Yes, here's for us 6 p.m. EST. Sorry. Okay, so it doesn't matter. You're here. We haven't done anything. We've just been we've just been chatting. So Tatiana, okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so we had that really great finale, and then it was kind of everyone was a little bit in the dumps. Down in the dumps, but then we had this wonderful documentary. What were your thoughts on the documentary?
I loved it. Everything they did was fascinating. Like, I usually only ever center around like costumes and the acting and maybe the directing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the sets, the set design, the construction, all the head of Snow. I love that. I still get a kick out of.
I love him too. People were calling him Lord Snow.
Yeah, it was
Lord of Snow, and he was the only person of color. I said that. I'm like, okay, the entire cast and crew is white, and he was the only person of color on the show. I think. I don't even think I saw anybody from like I don't know India or anything.
Really? No, I don't think so.
Maybe some of the Iraqi,
Yeah, but like I also love that the journey they did with like the extra, like the Stark soldier that has been a Stark soldier for like all the seasons.
Oh, I loved him.
I
actually tried messaging him. Has anybody tried reaching out to that guy or following him on Twitter? I followed him on Twitter. He's got a little bit of a following now. But I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, want to come over on our show?" So I don't know. He might answer. He might not.
Still, the year is young.
It is. He's from Belfast. He's a total cutie.
Yeah, he's adorable, and he has a bitchin' beard.
I love his beard. I think he kept his beard, but he's cut his hair. So I thought he posted a picture with him and Carrie Elwes. He posted a picture of himself with Carrie Elwes. Does everyone know Carrie Elwes from The Princess Bride? Who I just found out this week is going to be in season 3 of the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Oh, Vanessa says she loves the makeup lady.
I did. I had so many feelings
Oh,
with her and
hey,
her
Romy's
daughter.
here. She says she's friends with him on Facebook.
Oh,
Van-
cool.
Vanessa says, I love the makeup lady. I was so sad she couldn't see her daughter, but her daughter being an extra in the final scene, so cute. Best character development in this documentary than in the show.
Lol.
Yeah. I loved it too. I thought it was quite realistic actually. Because it's funny, everyone always thinks that being outside is glamorous, but it's not glamorous really at all. It's just like it's and
You
like
have to be there at like 7 a.m.
yeah,
You better have, it's like there must be there better be a coffee. It's like, and seeing Amelia Clark just coming in with her things, it's like think, okay, wig.
she was adorable. And and also just like I heard this before too. I think I saw another documentary where the studio is freezing. Like you can see your breath. So northern like Belfast, I think can get pretty cold, like Canada. So yeah, the studios it's not heated, I don't think. I know like when I in Toronto, like if it's cold or hot, they bring in fans and then they blow in air. So they either blow in heat or they blow in cold. So I don't know if they do that, but when they're actually shooting, they have to turn it off because of the noise. So no, I thought it was pretty good. One of my favorite things, and I've got pictures of it, is the fitting. What's his name again? Is it Jared? What's the name of the fellow?
Oh yeah, I forgot his name. Was it Tom?
I don't have his name, but the Stark guy.
Yeah,
The Stark soldier. So anyway, do you want to look at some pictures, or what? Do you have any other thoughts you want to share before we get going?
I kind of loved that they went all the way to Iceland for like one or two scenes. That was like, wow, that is dedication right there, man.
Well, I think that I heard that they did a lot of stuff in Iceland for earlier seasons.
Well, yeah.
And they did shoot in Canada actually, because I said to my husband, I'm like, why would they go all the way to Iceland? And then he's like, well, Canada and the United States would be farther. So it's true, right? So Iceland wouldn't be that far. Like it's just sort of across the water. Yeah. So I don't think it's as far, but it did seem crazy. Like honestly, like that. I mean, it was kind of beautiful, but they probably could have just CGI'd that shot of the waterfall or.
Yeah. Oh, and I totally fell in love with the Night King. I think he was the best.
I love him too. He's adorable. I love him. I love how when he went and talked to the crowd and he was like, do you guys know who I am? And they were like, yeah.
Night King. Yeah. Oh my God, he was adorable. It's like, oh my God. It's like, just because of that, I wanted the Night King to win.
Romy says that the Stark Guard is Nathan. That's his name.
Got it.
And then and Vanessa said, and the set designer not wanting the set to be destroyed, I wanted to drink coffee in that set and lemon cakes. They could have they actually could have done tours there, but I don't know.
I know that like a tour of King's Landing. I don't know if you got a picture of this, but I love that there was like a huge Ferris wheel right next to King's Landing.
Yeah.
Like, and they were like, oh my God, the noise from this stupid thing. I can't. It's like, yes.
Well, that lady, that locations lady, I was like, oh my God, that lady had really foul, like a potty mouth. And it was funny because I said to my husband, like, I'm like, even if I had a really bad potty mouth, which I kind of do in real life, IRL, I don't think I would do it while I was on camera. Where I know like my boss and like the producers and everybody would see it, right? So she just must be known for it. She just probably doesn't give a crap.
Yeah, I live with
yeah, Vanessa.
Me being her, honestly, the amount of frustration that must set in when things don't go exactly your way must be so much. And she being Irish, I'm pretty sure she didn't give a hell. Yeah. So it's like, you know what? It's HBO. They don't care about cursing. So basically.
Yeah. So she was kind of a riot, that lady. And then with the Ferris wheel. So, and then the makeup lady, with her and her husband are both working together. I've actually, Jack and I have done a couple of gigs together. It's sort of funny. Like we've been on a show together and then we're like, you have to go home. No, you have to go home. Cause like one of the kids, like we actually did, it was weird. One time we were both, it wasn't on set. We were doing a corporate event. I was at one event. He was at another event. and we were in the same building on the same floor. And I said, the kids are with the babysitter. When are you going to be done? He's like, well, it looks like I'm going late. So I had to leave. I had to leave because I had to go get the kids. So we were fighting over who was going to have to leave first.
Whoa.
So yeah, so that must be
hindsight is here.
Hi, hindsight. And then also, but just even if you're working together, you probably still don't see each other that much because you're working.
Yeah, it's like you're not there for, you're like, oh, kissing cuddles. It says, okay, you do this, you do this, you better do this, you better do this, you better do this. Just keep her work and home separate.
You know what really sucks though is at the end of the day, after that really long day, you have to get on that shuttle bus. Like it's like an IKEA shuttle, like to take you back to wherever you're staying. You know what I mean? When that suck, you couldn't just like, walk out and be at home. You have to then after doing a 16-hour day, go home. You have to get on a shuttle bus with a bunch of probably stinky people.
Yeah.
Oh, Dornish wench, showing love to the costume queens. She's amazing. Breath of fresh air. She goes, hello, Poppet. Oh, Poppet. I hope you're doing your maths. Jack and I were saying they always put S's on the end of everything. Your maths and your Englishes and
oh, my, believe me,
hey, Poppet.
I love when I say, oh, hello, Poppet. It's like it brings me back to Pirates of the Caribbean. Like one of the characters in the first one says, hello, Poppet.
It's so cute. All right. So should we look at some pictures?
Yeah.
Now, this may not be in exactly the correct order. I just because what happened was I thought, oh, there's going to be some good high-res pictures of this online. And there was nothing. I couldn't find anything. Like if it was a TV show, there would be, I guess they would do press release pictures, but I did find a few, but nothing with anything we wanted. So I just went through and did screen grabs, guys. So this is what this is. And so it'll have now that's our intro. You want Game of Queens. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Sorry, I was supposed to do that. Okay. I thought we had it, but there she goes. Tatiana designed that beautiful thing. It's lovely. It's got Aaron in there, but he's not here. Okay, so there's the poster I was pointing out. Like if you look at so they've taken the Bayou Tapestry and they've made a Game of Thrones version of it. And I shared an article in our group. If anybody wants to check out our Game of Thrones analysis group, it's on Facebook and the link is in the description. So it's these Irish women who put this thing together. And then you got the man. You got the snow guy up at the top here, like he's up here. You can see him there. This isn't very high res, sorry. And then you got Nathan. And then there's the director. She's like a producer. So some of the characters are here, but I think it's much bigger than this. This is just a snippet of it.
Yeah,
so that's kind of fun. So it's actually a tapestry.
I kind of want it for a blanket.
What did you say? Sorry. Yeah, a blanket. They should do that. They could print them or weave them or whatever. You can get one of those ones, and then you can get one of the Basutu blankets from Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther.
You can decorate your place with like stuff from. Okay, I just had to throw this picture in because look how adorable Nikolai Coster-Waldau is in season 1. This is from season 1. Like seriously.
Like God, yes.
Oh
my God, Catelyn, stop.
How is she not like passing out because she's sitting next to him? Like I would be like, oh my God.
Honestly, I would just be staring at him the entire time and making him really
wearing a Kangol hat or something.
It was like
so dreamy.
I would probably try to steal his hat. I would definitely steal his hat.
He does look like a baby. Anyway, I threw that in, everyone. I'm going to get in trouble. Who is our one viewer who gets tired of me because I'm always talking about how handsome the men are or Star Wars?
Well,
either
that's a fact, girl.
So from Nikolai Coster-Waldau to shoulder guards.
Also, little baby Arya looks like an elf.
I know. She's so cute. She could be. She could be the cutest little thing.
Santa elf.
A Santa elf. Hi, Galaxy Quest. Maisie looks like she is at school. Aw, it's true. I know. They were so young.
And innocent. and now they're
That
all.
singing, oh, Sonia said your singing was so Disney when we did the intro.
Thank you. I
So anyway, yeah, so they had some like, they had some wardrobe shots of all the, it's not fancy. One of the things I liked, everything's nicely labeled. So this is the this is the Lannister shoulder guards up at the top. It's all like, and probably at the beginning of each season they have to go through it and check it and see how everything is.
Like the inventory must be insane.
Oh, hindsight. Yes, she says when Nikolai was filming New Amsterdam before Game of Thrones, one episode was in my old work neighborhood, but I didn't see him. Rats. Yeah. Tatiana, did you ever watch New Amsterdam with Nikolai Coster-Waldau? It was like he played a detective and like I think it was in New York City, and then there's like flashbacks to the 1600s. Hindsight, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think it only went a season. But I remember when I first saw him and I'm like, who is this guy? And of course he was Dutch.
Who is this sexy piece of man meat?
Who is this guy? It's like, kind of like when I first saw Michael Fassbender. I saw him in a show called Hex back like probably like 15, 20 years ago. And I was like, oh my stars. They're both kind of like super dreamy, handsome to me, those two.
Yes. Indeed they are. Hey, Galaxy Quest.
So we got some nice pictures of the wardrobe. I kind of like this because then you kind of get to see the work environment they're in.
Yeah, that brings me back to college.
Mm-hmm.
We were working at the costume department. That place felt like home, and I loved it.
Yeah, and then I've got here's a picture. Actually, this is in the footage, but it's just a really close picture of. I'm assuming it's Dothraki, but I liked it because you can really see all the breakdown and the painting that they've done.
Like I like they painted the snow on instead of
exactly. Now I'd read also they use wax too to make it look like snow. So on there you can see on the fur and everything, everybody. So assuming that's Dothraki. Moving forward, this was the girl. She's she does the background coordinator. So everyone, it's like in Canada, by the way, they call it, one of the things I noticed is they call them extras in Europe. We call them background in Canada, I think in the States as well. We used to call them extras, but they changed it. Yeah. She says New Amsterdam went for only one season. All I saw was cameras and all sorts of filming equipment.
Aww.
So, all right. So yeah, and here's now I think these is funny because I tried to figure out what it said. It looked like it said horn, but I think these are supposed to be the
Star
Hornhill.
Oh, Hornhill?
Yeah, these are like Dick and Harley wore this one and his father. So I'm trying to figure out how that all worked. Like when she killed them, if she ended up getting their army, some of them at least.
Probably some.
Or if they were still with Cersei, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that they ended up going with Dany.
Well, they bent the knee. I would guess that.
The rest of them, the rest of them bent the knee, right?
Yeah, although there weren't that many to begin with, considering the teeny tiny group that there was.
Yeah. So this type of breastplate here and chest plate, or chest plate and back plate, or cuirass, it's very medieval looking, very English medieval.
Yeah.
He says, I think they kill everyone, says Vanessa. I'll have to go back and check. Okay, so here we are with our young Stark guy. Now, what I love about this is, guys, you get to see the process of the fitting. So there's two fittings going on simultaneously, right? Because there's a female and a male running this. So I think the girl here, she's doing, sorry, what was his name again? Was it Jared? Nathan, sorry. I don't want to saying Jared. She's doing Nathan, and then there's another guy doing the other, his friend. So it's great. So that, you can see they've got the pants and they've got the undershirt. They start off with in boots. It's sort of their foundation, and then they put on the male. It's not a complete male shirt. It's only like sleeves and a coif. I don't even think he's wearing the coif. I saw another person wearing it, and then this sort of vest thing on top of it, which I was like, "What the heck?" This.
Yeah. Oh, the chainmail.
Well, the male, but then there's Oh, you know what? you know what? I just realized what you're saying. Yeah, it's attached to the vest. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's okay. I get it. Okay. See, I
Yeah,
didn't look closely enough.
it's to help lace up the
Yeah.
chainmail. And it's okay because it's okay if that part isn't as full of chainmail because that's where the breastplate is.
Mhm. And this chainmail is this is the proper chainmail. It's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a good kind.
Yeah,
It's not just like, yeah, it's actually butted chainmail, I think it's called. Someone can correct me if I'm incorrect on that, but I think that's what it is.
hi, Luke, hi, Rhapsody.
Hello. Hi, LMR. How are you? Hey, Dornish. Should we say hi to Dornish already? Maybe you did.
You just say hi to Gus.
His name is Andrew McClay. Oh, Andrew. Okay. Oh, his name's Andrew. We're calling him Nathan. Okay. Dope. Okay. Andrew McClay. Andrew McClay. He's actually, it's an Irish McClay, not a Scottish McClay. It would be MacClay if it was right.
I always get my Scottish and my Irish accents mixed up. Like I try to do Scottish and it becomes Irish. I try to do Irish and it becomes Scottish. I don't know. My brain is weird.
Well, and also, have you been watching what is it? Bad Omens? Have you been watching that?
Oh, I haven't started yet, but I'm going to.
Oh, okay. Because the one actor is David Tennant. He's Scottish, and then the other guy is Welsh, right? So it's like,
or Welsh.
The other guy, Sheen he's Welsh. So I've been getting kind of the two of them are adorable. They have really good chemistry.
You know, David Tennant is Scottish just by listening to him. He has like the workman Scottish. Like actually, the other I think yesterday, a friend of mine from England, he sent me a video of this guy reading the Scottish poem in like different Scottish accents, and it was fascinating and horrifying because I couldn't understand like half. It started fine. It started like okay with like the Edinburgh normal Scottish that we usually hear like in movies and stuff. Yeah. But then it just got like super Highlands, and then it just went completely utterly Gaelic, and I'm like, what? Well, I mean, this is fascinating, but what are you saying right now? All I can understand is Edinburgh and Glasgow. That is all I can understand.
Yeah, well, even like the actor who plays Jamie on Outlander, he has like, he's Scottish, but he has to put on that additional rogue kind of.
Yeah.
Vanessa says, I can barely read and write English. Making accents would be impossible. She said.
Well, honey, I learned how to do the British accent by basically years of being a fan of Harry Potter and then watching all the BBC. So, I had to learn over decades. So it's not that easy.
That's really good.
Thank you.
I can do a bit of a French Canadian accent, but I won't do it. My mother's
you just have to channel Celine Dion.
It's really guttural. Okay, so here we have okay, so we just talked about the chainmail. So then next the gambeson, which is like a quilted padded sort of thing. And I love this because again, you can sort of see like it's the sleeves and the shoulders the sleeves aren't completely attached. They're just attached slightly at the shoulders, which I've noticed with a lot of the costumes, which is great because then you have that extra bit of room underneath the arms to be able to move.
And I loved how he said that, okay, I know the position. That he has to like bend over to try to get that thing over his head. It was hilarious.
I think actually this is a good example of why as a knight you would need a squire to help you dress. Or if you're a lower knight, you probably could help each other dress. But I think this is why as an upper knight, you would definitely need someone to help you dress.
Oh, definitely.
And then, so he doesn't wear the male coif, but I have a picture of somebody who is. So he's just wearing the padded coif, or like the head covering, that's just a bit of a protection that you wear underneath your helmet. So one of the things I noticed when I was watching this is that, so he's wearing the chainmail, the male, and whereas John isn't. So I don't know if that was a decision they made because of the weight or they didn't like it, or I'm not really sure. I'm wondering why.
Probably aesthetics. Maybe because
Might have been.
they wanted to like differentiate him from like the rest of the army. Also, he has the strongest armor out there, plot armor. So he
That's true.
doesn't really need all that much.
You're so smart. That's totally true. Oh yeah, he has the plot armor. Okay, and then there's the coat of plates, or we sometimes call it a brigandine, whatever you want to call it, which is leather and then bound, and then he's got the helmet and the gauntlets as well. So it's like a full set. Oh, and then she does. That's her just hanging. Oh, one other comment I was going to make while I was doing this. They must go through a shitload of plastic hangers. Like, I mean, we should do. I wish I could get a number of how many plastic hangers they use on that show. Because like someone's probably always running to Dollar Tree or whatever they have there. Because in Canada,
actually, they have the Poundland.
What do they have?
Poundland. I always
Poundland is the name. Poundland is the name of the dollar store in England.
Yeah. It makes me laugh every single time I pass by one, because it just
sounds like a dollar store. What are we talking about?
It sounds like a freaking porn store. And I was like, what?
Poundland. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Poundland. That is just, oh my God, that's so funny. Well, anyway, like, because in Canada, at least on the sets I've been on, they use these particular type of hangers. And I've never seen like these types of hangers used on a Canadian set. Like occasionally you'll see like the odd, like random hanger or a wire hanger. But there was one picture I had a while ago where all the stark armor was on plastic hangers. And I'm like, which is weird because you think, oh my God, that's going to be too heavy for the plastic hangers. Maybe they're heavy duty. Who knows?
But they have to be, considering some of the dresses and gowns that are in that show, they have to be heavy duty.
Well, and these are background, these are extras. So I don't know, maybe they don't put them on nice hangers. Maybe they put the principal actors stuff on nice hangers and not the.
No, maybe. I know from my time in costume department at college, like they usually, when they use plastic hangers, is not so much for the weight, although sometimes it is. It's also mostly because of the what's the wrinkling? The wrinkling that if you use like a wire hanger, it can distress the fabric and make it into the shape of the hanger. I don't know if you
exactly. So that's exactly it. So we had like a shirt, there's dress hanger, and then there's separates hanger, and there's suit hanger, and there's pan hanger. So those were the 4 hangers that we would use. And that pan hangers are used, although when I worked in film, I learned how to hang sweaters properly. You don't hang it like you would normally hang a top or a shirt. You actually fold it in half, and then you hang it over the top of the hanger, almost like, so that it's, I don't know, I can't really describe it. Next time I'm on, I'll show you how they do it. So I started doing that. I'm like, what a great idea. Cause then you never get those like little divots in the shoulders. Peter Jackson says when filming Lord of the Rings that they needed so many shelves to hold everything from wigs to props, etc.
Well, yeah, not surprising, especially the scope of those movies.
And then, okay, and so here she is doing up his belt, which I always say they do it sort of like Viking style with that loop style. Everyone on the show wears it that way. And he's really cute. Oh, here's another fellow.
He has nice eyes.
This guy does have nice eyes, yeah, and a really good beard. And so here's her helper. He's kind of cute. The reason why I like this picture is because they show that at the shoulders you can undo the armor that way, and at the sides, so you can get into it quite easily with the fasteners there. Yeah. So
that's actually how they do it. I mean, again, based on what I know.
Yeah. No, it is. This is like on armors that they have. Yeah, definitely. And here's a picture of a fellow wearing a male coif. Now, so now that I know that this is actually attached, the sleeve. So this is, I think they just do this to fake it, because normally they call it a hauberk, which is a male shirt, would be the whole thing. Like, so if someone stabs you, So I think for the show, they've just done that. They've cheated it. And the other reason why I wanted to show this is because this is one of the rare times that we actually get to see the skirt. Like, so there, the wardrobe girl, she's holding the skirt as she's about to put it on him. So like I was, we talked about it, sort of like a Japanese type skirt that you wear, and it's panels. So that's one of those rare times you get to see that. Okay, so this is I think as they're building King's Landing or getting ready. We did see these costumes last year.
The Lannister archers.
Yes. I saw actually these guys, from what I remember, these guys were introduced last year when they were actually doing the
loot train attack.
The loot train. And I think also it might have been when they sacked Highgarden.
Yeah.
Was that they sacked Highgarden? I think. Well, no, they took Highgarden and then they
Well, they marched on Highgarden. I remember seeing them as they marched on Highgarden. I remember them after that.
Mm-hmm. And then it's got that, so we've talked about how the Lannisters have a little bit of a Japanese influence. So one of the things I noticed is that it's got like that lacing in there. That's you sort of see that in Japanese armor. Normally it would be the plates, and then the plates would all be laced together. Their helmets are a little bit goofy for me.
Yeah, I cannot.
I don't know what the style is. They're just a little bit goofy. They might be a proper, archery helmet. I'm not sure, but I kind of feel bad for this guy.
I do like the difference between like cavalry and sword fighters and like the archers, like the different armors, because for the main army it's normally more like Tywin or Davies when they go to war, but here is, and I understand why, because it's supposed to be lighter, it's supposed to be more agile, because it needs to stretch so much for a bow, and I get it, but it's still interesting to me. I think like the Lannisters are like the only ones I remember seeing a distinction between army and archers. Not anyone else.
Yeah. And it's funny because like in a lot of cosplay, you see people wearing what are called bracers, which are those cuffs. This is actually the one time the archers are the ones who normally would wear a bracer. They only wear it on the one side, as you can see, because they need it in order. So that's the one time. So, but you'll see like people wearing cosplay, just wearing them. And you're like, why are you wearing those? I don't know. Like when we did a review of Outlaw King, he was wearing, like, I think the king was wearing the bracers, and people were like, why is he wearing bracers? I don't know. It's like a decorative thing. It's like I don't know. Yeah. A lot of cosplayers do it. Cool. Yeah. Galaglade. Hi, Galagade. Galagade says, I agree. Both types of Lannister army helmets are funny looking. So the other one are the barn door ones, which we're going to see shortly. So, this is really fun. I love this because, so you see, like they're at the food truck here, which it's weird. It's cash and carry. They don't give out stuff because in Canada, I don't know about you, Tatiana, but in Canada, on set we have like craft services, and you can go in there and anyone can get food and it's free. Like you don't have to pay for it unless you're a background person, and then if you're a background person you get what are called substantials, and then they bring them to you. So you don't get as much stuff, but if you're just a regular crew you can go. So it was sort of funny, they just have this like, you pay for, because like most background people never have any money. That's why I thought that was sort of funny.
Oh, that's me. Thank you, I guess.
They don't have money, right? Because they're like, in Canada we have what are called cash extras. So they come in, they do the day, and at the end of the day they're paid out cash. And then it's the union ones that have to wait to get paid by check, and they get paid more. But the cash people basically are making minimum wage. It's really bad. So what I love,
like the one time I was paid to do like be an extra on a movie, I was paid by check. Maybe it's because I was a bit more in the shots, but I was like, I played like a reporter for like a court scene or something.
They're gonna put on,
and I got paid like $250 by check. It wasn't like here.
Oh, but, okay.
So maybe it's different over there.
Well, this is it. I think it just depends on the country because we have our own. Canada has its own union. United States has its own union. You guys probably have your own union. What's the name of the film actors union there? You know?
I don't remember. Right now, I do not remember. I don't really.
Okay, so what I love about this picture, so we've got like, yeah, so there's a Nikolai hanging out with everybody. I love that. I think that's so cute. See, he's hanging out, chatting away with different people. So now,
I like the guy next to him actually, like up to his right, like the one with the like the vest, the back that has like a zebra pattern.
I think I've got him in a group shot. And also the other guy next to him. So those guys are both background. And then, of course, we've got the soldier, the archer there. But one of the things I was going to say, so remember when we were talking about last time, we were like, okay, Jamie had a red coat, like this dark red coat and kind of ox bloody color, maybe. And then at the end of the season, we're like, wait a second, that's like actually not red. So then I started doubting myself, but I think he must have had more. I wonder if he had multiples. Like maybe last season it was more red even.
Probably.
I mean, wonder if she did that. I wonder.
Now it looks like a dark mahogany.
It does. So I'm wondering if maybe last season, remember we had him on our top men's list. It looked like a much brighter red. So it is possible that they made it in the same cut, like maybe made multiple versions of it and then just as progressively had it get darker and darker.
It probably is. It probably can also like go with like the wear and tear of it because he's been wearing it for so long.
That's true. But I did notice the scene where, by the way, guys, I'm sorry. I should have said spoilers for everybody here. So anyway, I'm hoping everybody knows there's spoilers because we're talking about the documentary. The very last scene where he's having the fight with Euron, it was definitely, there was no red in it. I mean, even with the filters, I'm like, there's no red. It's just completely stripped of red.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I was looking at his coat during that scene.
But I'm like, nobody cared about the fight.
The fight was boring.
Nobody cared.
Everyone was like, "You're on whatever."
Like
the
only one who could probably make us care would be Yara fighting Euron and killing him because there's so much stake in their relationship.
Yeah, she was robbed. She was
like, oh. And did you hear that the actor, the Euron's actor, his name always escapes me, is Pilau. He says that Euron was actually in love with Cersei. I was like, really?
I never got that at all. You're kidding me.
He said it. He said that he was
mind or in the script.
In his mind, and he tried to make it look in the script, but
I never got that. I thought he was actually mocking her when he was saying she's the most beautiful queen. I thought he was like just,
I thought he was just trying to get into her pants and get to the Iron Throne. I thought he was using her, which was
I thought he was going to kill her. I thought he was, or at least try to kill her after. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Wow, what a waste of a character.
Yeah, then as an amnesty, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I'll have to find that interview. Hindsight, yeah, she said Screen Actors Guild. So in the States, it's Screen Actors Guild. But I wonder, is Puerto Rico under the Screen Actors Guild, or is it its own? Do you have your own thing?
So.
Yeah, because in Canada it's ACTRA.
We don't have SAG. We don't SAG.
You don't SAG. You don't. Do you SIG?
We always say, darling.
No, okay, so this one now, these poor people I got this screen grab of them while they're eating. But you got to eat when you're a background. You got to eat when you can.
Yeah.
This is my one. Yeah.
Well, me being them, I will be so terrified of like spilling something on myself. I was like, oh.
I know. What the people who are in their makeup, like full on zombie makeup, and they're trying to eat. That must be.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god, I love that. Was my favorite shot. Those were like zombie people just chilling, eating lunch. I lived. Oh my god, I lived. It was great.
One of the things I was going to say about the King's Landing extras background people, the people, is that I love the
Bye,
costumes so much.
Delegate. Have a good night from in the UK.
Oh, bye. Bye,
And
Delegate.
hi,
Thank you for
Angel.
coming.
Oh, and hi, Angel Lover.
Hi, Angel Over. One of the things I loved about the King's Landing people, and it's just too bad because we didn't get to see a lot of it in the show. I mean, I guess if I went back and rewatched it and went frame by frame, I'd probably be able to see some of it. But a lot of it, I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Really, really great colors. This is one of the things I was really happy about, because even though Michelle kept saying, it's a shutting down of color and it's war and it's serious and everyone's losing their color, blah, blah, blah. I kept going, yeah, but people aren't just going to throw out their clothes just because it's war. So I was really happy to see that the people in King's Landing didn't, that they still were wearing, actually, they were wearing fashions from like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
They were wearing all these really beautiful jewel tones and great
I mean,
fabric.
like that lady, like the lady that is in front in pink. I love, I like kind of love that fabric she has
I
on.
love
Like
it
it has
too.
like a weird print, like a weird subtle print.
Yeah,
Like
and
maybe
then
like a brocade-ish thing.
it's got like a little bit of a texture, like maybe yeah, it's got like a puckered kind of. One of the things Michelle said, I don't know if I said this I think I did say this in our video, is that when they buy fabric, they oftentimes buy upholstery or furnishing fabrics. She said that they always dye it, or they dip it, or they boil it, or they spray it, or they paint it. She said it's rare that they would ever have any fabric that would go on into a costume without having some type of treatment done to it ahead of time. But also I love, everything looks very organic. Like we can go to some other pictures here too. Everything looks really organic. Like it looks like the dyes would come from, the earth, the very earthy colors. The fabrics look really natural, like they would be woven. And like, I love this color here. And you'll see it even in the architecture they've incorporated, like this sort of teal blue.
That lady in the corner. I
Yeah.
love that. It looks like a two-tone color.
Yeah, and then so they sort of incorporate it into the doors as well of the houses. They've got a bluey green color, and then you've got the green screen behind, which is so funny. And then it looks really great with the Lannister red. Just so lots of wonderful textures, and then also just the way that they've wrapped and twisted everything. So it's like in a fitting, hey, let's take this piece of cloth and wrap it around you in an interesting way. Just really, really, really cool ways to do that.
Yeah, Vanessa says the little girl that was behind the pillar with the little apron was so cute. She really was in the episode.
Yeah, and even the children here, like the. Oh, are you talking about the makeup artist's daughter? Is that the one you're talking about, or?
Oh no, in the actual episode episode 5, where they're like massacring everyone, there's a little girl like hiding behind a pillar while everyone is being killed in the background. And she's like,
yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi, Applefeld, or Apple Feed says maybe the blue green is left over from the Tyrell's brief influence. I think so. That's a really great point. Yeah. Again, like you wouldn't just throw it out, right? Even though you're under a new monarchy.
Also, because this isn't like today that they have malls. They probably make their own clothes to last because they ain't rich.
Yeah. Now, there's one thing I'm hoping I'm going to get to it. So here's a closer look at this woman here that I love this lady here.
Wow.
Isn't it amazing? And the lady behind her. And you can even see, like, we don't talk about hair as much, but you can really see even the hairstyles are sort of a throwback to the older style. Like, for instance, when Sansa first arrives in King's Landing and the ladies all have these updos. Like, because I think the lady in the front looks like she's slightly lower class, and then the lady behind her looks like she's a little bit more upper class than her. And so you would see these women wearing these beautiful, like, silks, and then they'd have their hair wrapped up in these sort of almost like a roll. And then Sansa started to sort of copy that. And look at these little kids. Are they the cutest things ever?
Yeah, I love the boy's jacket. The
I know. It's great, eh? Like a little doublet. So cute. So just really great. And Go ahead,
And
sorry.
I love like the main woman in like the teal. It
Yeah,
looks like an Arisade,
it
like,
does.
like something
It does
close
look
to
like
an
an Aerosade. Exactly.
and
Absolutely.
I
You're
really
totally right. For you guys who don't know what an Aerosade is, it's a type of, it's just like a long length of cloth that you basically wrap around your body and you belt it, and then you take the bottom part of it and you lift it and you put it over your head. And it was worn in Scotland. It was a traditional sort of dress for Scotland. It didn't have to be tartan. It could just be a solid piece of cloth like we see here. So Michelle's obviously using a bunch of different styles. And then even the lady behind her has that shawl as well, but
it was more, hers looked more like a pashmina, actually.
like a pashmina, but she's tucked it in ish. Now,
Yeah.
one of the things I noticed, did you notice this then? So, like for instance, this lady on the right here, so she's wearing kind of that kimono style, but
Yeah.
but then they've put another little jacket over top of her, kind of like because it's winterizing it.
Yeah. That's
Whereas this
great.
lady here looks like she's wearing one of the, when it was warmer, she's wearing one of the tunics over top of this other tunic. So lots of really
Yeah.
great
Oh,
layering.
also one of the things I noticed about the
Yep.
little boy with the jacket, if you go to like the back to the other picture with the main woman in teal, with
Yep.
the Ariside woman, his shoes. We have never seen shoes like that in
No.
Game of Thrones because they're always
Uh,
boots.
yeah. No, it's true. They do look like they're made, like maybe, I don't know what they're made out of. You're right. That's interesting. You usually don't see shoes very much at all.
Yeah, and if you do that again, they're usually just boots
They're boots,
or
exactly.
slippers.
Or a slipper for the women. Yeah, I know you're right.
That looks
He was
like
wearing like
looks
a
like
knicker. He's
little.
wearing knickers with like socks, kind of,
Yeah, he looks like Snickers with. Hey, it's just freaking adorable. It just gives me like weird 18th century when little boys used to wear like breeches with their socks and their shoes,
Yep.
and I kind of live.
Yeah, my dad even did, like back in the 30s. My dad would wear like high knee socks and knickers and ankle boots. So, and then you'd wash your socks and hang them by the fire or whatever they did, and they darn them. Nothing got thrown in the trash like we do nowadays. This one
Yeah,
here of this guy is really nice too. This reminds me actually a lot of Varys.
Paris. Yeah,
Yeah. So again, and Michelle's done this. She's added like fur, incorporated fur. Like these two people both have fur, incorporated it. So, because it's colder, obviously.
yeah,
And there's the Stark helmets with the barn doors, by the way, that we were
yeah.
talking about. They're kind of weird. Vanessa's saying it is very important to showcase the different fabrics in the city. The common folk also had different classes, the smiths and the merchants having more money. Gendry was from the rich part of the city.
That
And
was
she,
also the poor part,
yeah,
and the
I'm
green lady
guessing the
probably
teal lady was a merchant wife. Angel over
probably.
short pants. It has a little Lord Fauntleroy thing. He just needs curls. I know he's so cute.
I mean, he does have curls.
So adorable. He does
He
look
does
like
have
he has
curls.
slightly wavy curly hair. Yeah, the girl behind him is cute. I don't see if I have another. Okay, and then I'm moving on to this guy. Okay. Now this guy here, he's wearing this is basically this is basically a gambeson here that he's wearing. It's got the rivets on it, like you would
Yeah,
have. So he is some type of soldier. Just
probably like a guard,
he could be,
maybe.
yeah. And it's just like he's off duty. This guy's cute. Like he's got a cute face. Also, what's great is all of the props are really amazing too. Did you notice them? Like all the baskets and the
Yeah,
bags. Like, look at this person here in the
I love
green.
the basket with the braided handle.
Isn't that amazing? And then it's like,
I love his scarf. He's
yeah,
like chartreuse scarf. I
it's
love.
amazing. Just a nice shot of color. But I love how it's all padded at the top. So it just to save your shoulders a little bit when you're walking. And then
Oh
again, we
yeah.
got the purple back here. Again, with a pashmina.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh no,
they're
I
upper
love that. I love
classes.
that woman in purple. I
Gorgeous.
that dress gives me life.
Yeah, and you get definitely like this lady in the sort of purple, like the sort of more reddish purple, like the Tyrian purple. as they call it.
Yeah.
Again, it has a, definitely hanfu, Japanese kind of Chinese hanfu style to it.
Yeah. Ow.
Really nice stuff. So, here she is. Yeah, definitely like a hanfu. And
I
then
love.
isn't
She's one of my
beautiful colors. So, like for instance, I have to say, okay, when I saw this costume, I was like, I think that looks like it might be one of Sansa's old costumes.
Yeah, like distressed.
Distressed,
Like a
exactly.
little bit distressed. I think you know what it looks like Sansa's dress thing when she has a period. You know that's like
Mhm.
really
Yep.
simple.
Yep. Yeah, she had this one that was really simple. It had no embellishments or anything. Now it's possible they just made a bunch for the background as well.
Or they
But
could repurpose. I
or
would be surprised if it
I
wasn't
would assume
repurposed.
they would repurpose this one. You can't really see too well, but the wool is so nice. Like on this guy is wearing a gambeson, but the wool is really nice on his sleeves.
Yeah, and I love the woman's scarf, like the purple woman's scarves.
Yep.
It's gorgeous.
hmm
I want
So
it.
yeah, everything is just so gorgeous. So
But honestly, that she gives me like a high class lady with her handmaiden, just
yeah,
walking around.
It does look like that. Absolutely. You're totally right. So you can see the lady on the left, for instance, that really feels like, season 2 of Game of Thrones, like the way her hair is, which would kind of make sense because if she's a handmaiden, um,
Her hair actually reminds me of the Tyrell handmaidens
mhm,
hair.
yep. And then she's got like a nice brocade on her sleeves.
Oh,
But
that's
you're
beautiful.
right. I think she does look like she's like a handmaiden to this lady who looks more like a proper lady.
Yeah.
Upper East Side's Upper East Side King's Landing, says
Yeah.
Jordan French. The guy in yellow also
That's the
gives Jordan
housewife of
vibes.
King's
Yeah.
Landing.
So anyway, really,
Oh, and
really.
there's a guy in the back in like the corner next to the woman that has like a really beautiful brocade. I don't know if you see it. Like behind the guy in gray.
Oh yeah, yeah, his sleeves. He's got
Yeah,
the
that looks like
hanging
Joffrey's sleeve.
like a
That looks like hanging.
Joffrey sleeve. Yeah,
Oh my
definitely a
God.
Joffrey.
All these people are just like freaking callbacks all over.
I
And I
know. It's
really
really cool. It's interesting because Michelle, I read that she was saying, "Oh, I was going through the wardrobe the other day." This would have been a while ago, obviously before the show was finished, and she found, I guess, Danny's original dress. So I'm sure that they had to repurpose because you couldn't be able to dress
love
all these
money.
people. But yeah, if you change it up, you could totally do it. And this may
Oh, and
I don't know if this is the girl that we saw before, but it's similar, the one who was eating. But it's a
oh
similar, like again, that crisscross sort of thing. And she's got the basket over her shoulder, which I love.
yeah, I live.
And then this guy, they do these little caps. There's another lady with her hair covered.
I
And
love like the high hairstyle that she
yeah,
has. It looks very intricate
it
and
does.
simple.
Like with braids and stuff like that.
Yeah, looks like twist braids probably.
Oh,
Oh
someone said Peter Baelish. Are you talking about this one here? The one on
yeah,
this guy here? This guy, Peter Baelish?
yeah, very Peter Baelish.
Yeah,
Like
for
the one in the
sure.
far right.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
kind of like the court.
I live. This is
So lots of great
also
colors.
there's
There's this girl with
a
my hair.
I saw something in the back. I think it was like a braid, like a really weird ass braid, or am I just going
On
crazy?
this one?
Oh no, that's that. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no, that's just rope. I thought that was a braid. Haha. On the lady.
I think the little girl has braids, maybe.
Yeah. No,
So,
but the other woman that was like carrying like a basket, the
oh yeah,
rope
yeah. Oh
on the
yeah,
other
okay.
side. On the other
You
side,
see it?
yeah, on the woman. There we go.
Oh,
The one
her.
with the basket that
Oh
had
yeah.
like the triangular
I think that's
thing.
just the arch. That's the arch above her head.
Yeah. That's
It's a bit blurry, that picture. So this one
those are
here,
now I realize those are Corinthian pillars.
yeah,
Cool.
you're right.
Great
Acanthus
Corinthian
leaves
pillars.
with acanthus leaves.
Yes. Oh yay, history.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of classical sort of design there for sure.
Yeah. Greek and Roman.
Again, like this sort of red, that's like it was funny. That's that like that Tyrian purple, which I thought was funny because I was like, I was so happy when I discovered that, and then I noticed somebody else had figured that out, and I'm like, oh wow. And it's the same with Cersei. I discovered that Cersei was actually a goddess. I didn't even know that. Did you know that?
Yeah, you didn't know Cersei was a Greek goddess. Well, she's not so much a goddess. She's a Greek witch.
A witch, yeah.
Her made to pigs, and Odysseus beat her at her own game, and as reward, they hung out and banged until sunrise for like 10 years. So people.
Now, here, Tatiana, here's an example of again when I was talking about the hairstyles from King's Landing. These would, these are definitely the court, and they have, or they may not be the court, sorry, but they're higher class, and they have that style that we were talking about. And again, the purples and the mulberry
and
colors,
the Cersei belt. They brought back the Cersei
belt. They brought it back.
Yay!
God,
I miss you, Cersei belt.
Yes. Great colors. And again, I love this door. That's a beautiful door. Yeah. It's just a great shot.
I live for those colors. They are gorgeous.
I know. One of the things I wanted to say is, one of the things that made me really happy is that the director on this was a woman, because there weren't any women writers or directors or anything like that this past season. Actually, one of the things that really surprised me is that David Nutter, who's a little bit of a nut, it's a pretty good name for him. He did 3 episodes, and I'm not even sure what the reason behind that was. I was like, why give like one dude 3 episodes for God's sakes? Why not spread it out a little bit?
Who? David Nutter?
David Nutter.
You mean from season 8?
He directed 3 of the 6 episodes, half the episodes.
So wait, so they gave like the first half to Miguel Chapotnik and the other half to David Nutter?
Well, they were mixed up. Like they didn't do them in order because I think it would have just been too much for them. So I don't know if David did 3 of them. Like last year, Jack met the guy, I think, who did Hard Home. He's from Toronto. He was at an event in Banff, and he met one of the directors that worked on it like 2 seasons ago. And he's like, well, was that guy back? And I'm like, no, I think there was just 2 directors. You guys can tell me if it was different. Applefield Fide says she thinks it was budget. He did the Red Wedding, so I guess they think of him as a genius. Well, it was funny because I was like, when I saw him directing that scene, I don't know if you think about this, Tatiana. When I saw him directing the scene of, sorry, I'll just go back on the camera, of the love scene between Danny and John, it was a little bit cringy for me.
Oh,
like,
oh, you mean in Iceland in the when after they fly the dragons?
Yeah, the scene itself I thought was a little bit, I didn't really like the scene itself in the show, but when I watched David Nutter directing that scene, for me, it felt kind of cringy. It felt like it kind of was like, ew. And then John, who's one of my my Twitter friends, he was like, yeah, David Nutter is just kind of a little bit creepy to me. So that's sort of like the feeling I got from him too. He's a little bit of an odd duck. Like he can only use US 8.5 by 11. He can't use A5. He can't use any other. They have to fly in his paper. He's just a little bit of he's a little bit of an odd duck to me. I don't know what you guys think. I thought he was a little odd. But a lot of these people are. Ridley Scott, who I adore, by the way. He has his quirks.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like honestly, if there were like 3 directors that I wish I could work with, it would be Edgar Wright, Guillermo del Toro.
Oh my God,
and Quentin Tarantino. Those 3 would be amazing to work with.
What did David Wright do?
Edgar Wright. He did the Cornetto trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
and he recently did Baby Driver. He did Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He's like really very visually, aesthetically, and he's just awesome. He's
I
just
agree
so
with
good.
I agree totally with Guillermo del Toro. For
Like
sure. I would love to. I'd have to think. I'd have to think who I'd want to work with. I probably would want to work with that French director, Denis Villeneuve, because he's Canadian.
Oh yeah.
And he's fantastic. Oh, and probably David Cronenberg.
Oh,
He's
that
Canadian.
will. That would be really creepy, considering the Cronenberg.
His the last few movies he's done haven't been creepy. He's kind of left the horror thing. Like he did he's done a couple like with what's that actor from Lord of the Rings?
Peter Jackson.
Um
Oh wait, no.
no,
Aragorn. Aragorn.
Aragon, yeah.
Yeah,
He's done a couple of his movies. Viggo Mortensen, yeah, he's done a couple of his movies. Baby Driver. I haven't seen Baby Driver. Okay, so we're gonna go back to this. Oh my gosh, Tatiana, we have to see the new Elton John movie.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
We have to see it. I've heard it's amazing. And Edgerton. Taron Egerton, the cutie pie ever.
He's the cutest thing in Kingsman.
He is. Oh, yeah.
I love his accent.
Hindsight, you know what? I have the Blade Runner 2049 on my list. I do.
I actually have to see the first one. I haven't seen the first one.
Tatiana, it's my favorite movie of all time.
Like, how dare you not see it?
No, I'm not going to be upset with you for not seeing it. It's from the 80s. It was funny because I said the other day, I was saying there were people online who were like, oh, I think I got a troll and someone's like, Game of Thrones is done. Like, get over it. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's only been done for 2 weeks. Shut up. It's only been done for 2 weeks. I'm still talking about movies from like 40 years ago. And you're telling me that, I reviewed, what is it? I reviewed Star Wars. I reviewed Blade Runner. I've reviewed The Fifth Element. Like, I'm not going to get over it. Game of Thrones only been done 2 weeks. I have people who are still messaging me.
I die, bitch.
I have people who are still messaging me about what do you call it? The about Rain. I have people messaging me still about
really?
It all 3 seasons. It went 3 seasons or 4 seasons, and then it's been done for 3 years. I have people who are still messaging me. What's that other Natalie Dormer show?
The Tudors?
The Tudors. I have people still asking me to do The Tudors.
Oh, you should do The Tudors, just,
Yeah, Snow White came out 80 plus years ago, and I still talk about it, says Amplified. Yeah, so I was just like, F you, people. Get over it. I couldn't believe it. Your show is done. Get over it. Well, I'm getting over. How about you get over your politics? I don't want to hear about your politics. How about that? Get over that. Because like every time you're on Twitter, it's just like something going on, right?
Yeah, it's like, my drop pink.
I'd rather talk about Game of Thrones than I would about what's going on in the political system.
Yeah,
Vanessa loves the Tudors. Rain was a mistake. Yeah, but anyway, he was a bit of a jerk. So I don't get many trolls though. So I was kind of happy with that. And that was sort of a nice sorry, I keep dabbing at my eyes. For some reason, I'm feeling teary-eyed today. I guess because we're talking about Game of Thrones.
So sorry, girl. I don't have alcohol right now. Stop.
I don't have alcohol. I've only had 2 coffees today. No, I don't know what it is. I think it's allergies. And I told you earlier, Tatiana. So my son. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Tatiana's not. My son, I took him to IKEA for Swedish for Common Sense on the weekend. He was so mad at me because he had this earache, and I'm like, "Be quiet, we're trying to find a carpet." And he was just like, "Mom," like every 5 seconds, "Mom, my ear hurts," and I'm like, I'll give you something to cry about. No, I wasn't saying that. So we got home and he was really miserable. So I gave him some medicine and then, but I don't know. I was like, I didn't think it was going to be any big deal. But yesterday he ended up with a really high fever. The poor guy, we got him these antibiotic drops. So finally we took him to the doctor today and it turns out he's got an ear infection, the poor little guy. But she said the drops were good. So if anybody's listening, I'm not a doctor. They have these antibiotic drops you can buy and they have a lidocaine in them, so they actually help with the pain. So my poor little guy was sick, so I just, so today we were out doing that, and I that's why I had to start the stream late, because I was just like, I haven't got my work done, I haven't got the PowerPoint put together. Vanessa said, "Oh, the Royal Tenenbaums or Virgin Suicides. I love the 70s. Those are both great movies. Awesome.
Oh,
movies.
you should totally do like a Hammer horror film.
Yeah, Hammer
Like
horror.
Dracula.
I love
Like,
Hammer horror. And it's funny because Peter, what's his name? He's from Star Wars. I have to get this in there, right?
Who?
The guy in Star Wars who is the main villain, like besides Darth Vader, and with the cheekbones. Yeah. He's got the cheekbones, and he's a Hammer film actor. That's where he started.
Oh, you mean Palpatine?
No.
Who's the bad guy?
Yeah, in the original Star Wars, like a New Hope, he wears the green suit, and he's got really Peter Cushing.
Oh,
I can't remember his name. So, anyways, that's where he started. He started in the original, and it's funny, and also,
Tarkin. Yeah.
Yes, Tarkin, and then also, the guy from Lord of the Rings. The bad guy in Lord of the Rings is also from Hammer Films originally. He used to play
Dracula. That's what I tell you, girl. He was the Hammer horror Dracula.
Yeah, Hammer horror Dracula.
That's why he's one famous films.
Such great films. I love them. General Tarkin.
Oh, also, Hindsight said, did anyone see the French film La Belle et la Bête starring Léa Seydoux and Vincent Cassel? The costumes there were amazing. I saw it, and I didn't love the story because it was a bit all over the place, but the costumes, girl, watch that movie and do a video on that because the costumes are insane. They really tried to pay homage to the original Cocteau film, from which it's based on.
Oh, okay.
Girl,
I'm gonna see it. Okay. So, hey, Cat Yellow Ranger says Tatiana should see the first Blade Runner on November 6th, 2019. The Blade Runner takes place. So that's the year that Blade Runner takes place.
Cool.
And it is my favorite film of all time. And the interesting thing about it is that, well, the original designer died, but his co-designer, Michael Kaplan, is designing all the Star Wars costumes now. So he went on to do that. So that was one of his first movies he ever did, was Blade Runner, the original. And I was always a huge Harrison Ford fan. Like I had a poster of him above my bed. No, I didn't. I had many posters of him and Mark Hamill in my room, along with David Cassidy, who I love. And because I've always been a fangirl, but now I'm too old. I don't have any posters of anything. The last time I had a poster of somebody was Antonio Banderas. I had a poster of him in my old apartment that someone had given me after he did. Yeah. After he did what was that movie he did? Del Toro? Was it?
No, Zorro. The Master
Zorro. No, it was before Zorro. It was that Richard Rodriguez.
Oh.
I loved him in that. Oh my God. He goes into the small town and Selma Hayek's in it.
From
No, from before that. Oh my gosh, if Jack was here, he would know.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
Oh yeah. Aiko's work is amazing. I did a review of Dracula, by the way, guys. Bram Stoker's Dracula, if anybody wants to check that out. Desperado, that's it. Thank you. What happened was he did Richard Rodriguez, it was one of his first films. He did it for $10,000. He did it for $10,000, the original.
You mean Robert Rodriguez?
Robert Rodriguez? What's that?
The guy who did Spy Kids. I only know him from
Spy Kids, exactly. Is that all you know him for?
Pretty much.
You don't know him from Dusk Till Dawn. You know from Dusk Till Dawn.
I know the names of his movies because of Nostalgia Critic, but I've only ever seen his kids movies. I haven't seen
Oh, okay. Anyway, I loved Antonio Banderas after that movie, so I had a poster of him. That's the last time I had a poster of anybody. Oh, I actually did. You guys probably wouldn't know this guy, but I did. We have this band in Canada called Glass Tiger, and Alan Frew, who's in Glass Tiger, I did a play with him, so he signed an autograph, and I had that up on the wall for a while after Jack and I got married. And I was like, okay, maybe I should take that down. That's kind of weird. I know, and I told him to. I said, Alan, I put this the autograph picture of you next to my bed.
Like, that is not weird at all.
That's not weird. I said, yeah, my husband's like, I don't know, but if you should have that picture up. But no, he is this Scottish cutie, and he's now, but he used to be in this band called Glass Tiger, which was this great, like this big Canadian band. If anybody's Canadian would know it. Planet Terror. Yes, exactly. So he did these grindhouse movies when he was with Rose McGowan. They were a couple, and they did that movie together. So anyway, he is pretty cool. Him and Quentin Tarantino are friends. They're both really cool directors, I think. So let's get back to this, though. If you guys want to talk about Game of Thrones still.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, so here, so we were talking about this. Let me move on here. Oh yeah, so this little guy is adorable. I love this man.
Yeah,
and I love like the architecture, how they did the even the upper stories, or everything is done. It's all practical. They can actually come in and out. Like they have that scene where the woman was bringing in her pots.
Yeah, I also love that the balconies are different to aesthetic, because even with the one with the guy in it is made of stone, but the other one is made out of metal.
Mm-hmm. And he's got those beautiful rugs that he's shaking out.
Yeah.
Hindsight says Battle Royale was Battle Angel, I should say, is Rodriguez's most recent film. My husband took me to that. Have you seen that, Battle Angel?
No.
It's based on a manga or an anime or something.
Probably.
It's pretty good. Okay, so I've got a close-up of his costume here. Look at his cute little hat.
I love his hat. He's adorable.
Yeah, and his jacket's really nice. And again, great colors.
I know.
And this is the lady with the pots. She's like, my main job is making sure I bring my pots in.
Because I have an unhealthy obsession with them. They bring me life.
What do they do? They bring me light.
Yes. I collect the life force from all citizens in the night and I drink it.
Yeah. I hear there's a war coming. Better get inside. Shackle up. And she's yeah. Oh, and then
I love that she said that like there was a little bit of something going on between her and the carpet vendor.
Were they flirting with each other? You can see. Oh yeah, there he is across the way.
Flirting,
carpet guy. Doing a good job there, eh? Shaking out your carpets.
You can shake my carpets whenever you want, darling. Hey.
Hello, lady. Lovely pots you got there.
Hello, Poppet.
Hello, Poppet. Yeah, they're cute. That's really adorable. Well, I mean, they're probably there for 12 hours, right? You got to come up with something.
Probably. Even extras need stories.
Exactly. So here we have, so here's a really great shot of the Lannister armors. I mean, these guys, so here they're wearing the upper armbands. A lot of them, they don't have the beautiful lion on them like you would see on Jaime or Joffrey or what have you. And there's those helmets that everyone's so fond of. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't hate them, but
I like them. They're weird.
They're kind of Japanese looking, you know. They got that.
Japanese looking.
I don't know. I didn't personally mind them. I thought the armor was pretty good, actually, like all around. My only issue with it, and this was because I said that if they're not wearing chainmail, that they had a lot of gaps in between. But design-wise, I didn't personally really mind them. Just as I shipped the pot lady and carpet man. I love how the city was about to be in battle, but he was worrying about the carpet. I guess the word didn't get out. The Twitterverse wasn't alight. Like, how did they know that the battle was happening? There's a crazy lady with a dragon. Run for the hills. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
We have the queen to protect us.
So, here's an example. So now this one here, this lady here, when I saw this, I thought this looked like one of the, the brothel outfits. Yeah, but they've put a coat underneath it though.
The winter whore.
The winter whore, exactly. Hello there, I mate. Would you like a little bit of crumpet? I like this guy's cap
I like the guy's turban. The guy
and the
behind him.
turban. Yeah, and it looks like they put makeup on maybe on him.
Yeah, maybe he's from Dorne.
Maybe he is. It's like they've mixed in the cultures. And
Well,
then
it
this
is
guy has got another little.
well,
This guy's wearing glasses. These are medieval glasses. See his.
lols.
That would be terrible. It would be like a coffee cup. Like if they missed that, is like his
Or a
glass
water bottle.
or a water bottle. There is an army outside the gates. Yeah, little did they know, poor civilians. I know it's terrible. Just when I got my carpet cleaned. Yeah, so pretty nice. And this, I love this. Isn't that great? Look at this hat.
Looks awesome.
I love it. And the basket and everything. It's just so great.
Yeah,
This is one thing you don't tend to hear about is the people who do all the set dressing and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's very important.
And then you can't see that it's a little bit blurry, but look at these lovely ladies in behind here.
I think those are the same ladies that we saw in the other
I think so. They're like friends. They're hanging.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
just hanging, waiting to die.
Yeah.
You know,
There's probably only like 20 people that they just kept getting them going in rows after rows. It's just like, okay, reverse. Because I think this lady here, I saw her earlier and I love it. She's carrying a baby, probably a fake baby, I guess.
Yeah, and I love that like the what's it called? The wraparound. It goes on the back too.
It's kind of like have you ever seen like a what is it? A Korean folk costume? It kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, the hanyo?
Yeah.
It's hanyo, something like that.
Yeah, it's like a short jacket that they wear over top of a dress.
Yeah. I love those. They're beautiful. You should do, oh my God, you should do a Korean drama. You should do a video on a Korean drama, girl.
I've never watched a Korean drama.
Well, to start.
Okay. I watch lots of Asian movies though.
Well, one, you should do a video on a Japanese movie.
Yeah.
Because especially Curse of the Golden Flower and the House of Flying Nine.
Yeah.
Girl,
House of Flying Daggers.
Those costumes are freaking insane to the max.
Someone asked me to do this. Yeah.
They're in Netflix. I started watching this movie. I think it's Korean. It might be Korean or Japanese. I'm not sure. I'm almost certain that it's Korean, but it's called Flight of the Phoenix. Something with Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
And it's about this the plot. I didn't really get it much. I had to like go back and rewatch it because I did not get what the hell was going on. But basically, it's about this prince who didn't want to assume the throne because all he wanted to do was make clothes and like work on tents and make beautiful dresses. And he just like works on his beautiful dresses from like the ancient times and being fabulous.
That's awesome.
And the costumes.
It's called Flight of the Phoenix.
I think it's Chinese.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. The Banquet is my
just
favorite.
Look up Korean dramas and you'll find one.
Please do The Handmaiden.
Yeah.
The Handmaiden
also,
or The Handmaid's Tale? Is it Handmaiden or Handmaid's Tale?
Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, it's Handmaid's Tale. Also, is Aaron told me about this Chinese movie called, I think it's The Monkey King or The Monkey King 2. Because it's
Jack's watching that.
The plot is completely and utterly stupid, but the costumes, girl.
Yeah, Jack was watching, and I'm like, I don't know about this. Like, it seemed like
Again, don't care about the plot. The plot can hang, but the costumes, girl. Oh my God, the villain's costumes and the priest costume, the monk. All of the costumes are just like, oh my effing God, how the hell hasn't Heidi seen this?
I have so many movies I have to see. That's why I have to do these older movies, because at least I've seen them. You know what I mean? No, I have a lot of movies I still have to see. I've seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I've seen that.
Oh yeah, that's a good
And
one.
I have someone was mentioning The Last Samurai. I definitely have seen that. I love that movie, The Last Samurai.
I think I started seeing that, but I stopped.
Yeah, because the actor in that is also in Westworld. the Japanese actor from that.
Oh, I thought you meant Tom Cruise. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, yes. Have I been watching the wrong Westworld?
Yeah. So we put the Golden Company like as an honorable mention. Like, looking at it, it's not too bad. We weren't crazy about the pants though, right? If you these weird
the MC Hammer pants.
MC Hammer time. Yeah, but the armor itself, and it's funny though, like the armor, like in some of these pictures, I mean, this is not a good picture. It doesn't look that good, but when you see it up close, it looks great. But unfortunately, like this is the issue, right? Sometimes something can look great up close. Like one of the things when we get to it, the Night King, his makeup, like even without the lighting, even without, the camera, it looks amazing. The filters, it looks fantastic. Like right out of the chair. Right out of the chair, the makeup looks amazing, and that is an amazing. That's a wonderful testament to the makeup artist, because oftentimes that's not the case. There's all kinds of flaws. Same with the wig. So, like, I was like, after they got Danny's wig on and everything, I'm like, yeah, I can't see the hair lace. Like, I can't really see anything. Like, it's pretty well done. Yeah, it's Hiro.
Sanada. Samurai in Westworld. Yeah,
I love him. Golden Company is how I wish Dornish army would look like, minus the pants. Yeah, I think that would have been good. Well, you guys know how I felt about the Dornish armor. It was weird. Yeah. So I took some of these pictures here because these are crowd shots, but there's some really great pictures here. So we've got the Dothraki on the right.
And we finally get to clearly see Danny's back.
We got to clearly see Danny's back, and then nice chevrons. And wasn't it so cute when Peter Dinklage was twirling in his costume? He's wearing the black. I love that. And then Missandei she's in her coat and she's kind of like hopping into her position and just so cute.
They're just filling their oats. They're filling their oats and trying to conform.
Well, when we were doing the top 10, I was trying to find some good pictures of the Dothraki. I had such a hard time. There was nothing out there. So this is the winter with Dothraki, and Michelle said in an interview that they, after the Loot Train battle, they pillaged the army and they ended up with a lot of the Lannister pieces. So you'll see that kind of incorporated into their costumes, which I thought was cool because they're kind of like, I guess they're like a raiding style, conquer and take kind of, you can correct me on that.
Can you zoom in on Danny? Because I want to see her hair and the back of the dress.
Yeah. That's as far as I can go though. It's it's like a crazy braid.
A crazy braid going down to another big ass crazy braid.
Yeah. It's really funny though when the hair person, her hair person kept being like, "Oh my god, her hair's moved again," which made me laugh because when I've been on set with hair people, they're like that. They're actually like that. They're like, "Oh my god, the hair moved," and then they run in there. Hair people are hilarious.
Oh, also her collar. How far down does it go in the back? Because I think it meets up with the skirt.
It does look like it.
Or is that just part of the corset part of the thing?
Yeah. I'm not sure this is the problem. We don't get back pictures. And I saw a video clip where Danny and Tyrion were dancing together. It's so cute, eh?
Yeah, it was adorable.
So this is Tatiana, are you off?
No, I'm still here. Give me a second.
She's here. She's just, her chair is blank. I'm just gonna be quiet and just let you enjoy Tatiana's blank chair.
Yeah, sorry, I had to.
I was just gonna not talk and leave your chair there. And then everyone. Tatiana's chair.
It is a nice chair.
It is nice. It's beautiful. It's your throne. Oh my god! Did you see the pictures of Sansa's throne? By the way, did you see that it was like carved wood throne? It was on the Game of Thrones. Sansa's coronation chair / throne. It was like wood, but it was all hand carved. It was beautiful. I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. I'll send you the picture of it. So here, actually, there's Nathan. Is it Nathan now, or did we decide it was a different name?
Andrew.
And I think that's Andrew, isn't it? In the middle? Isn't that Andrew? Is that Andrew?
I I thought
Oh,
he had
maybe
like
it's
a
not
long
him.
beard.
Yeah, okay, what's the Stark? Anyway, so yeah, so they're all kind of wearing that uniform. I like this picture actually a lot. You can see a lot of the breakdown. You can see sort of all the breakdown that's on it. Like
Yeah, and the snow and
sometimes it just looks like even someone dropped it on the ground and stomped on it, which is what they did for. Here's my Star Wars reference for Alec Guinness. They apparently that's what they did with his costume. They took it and they threw it in the sand. And they stomped on it.
they did the Mexican hat dance.
Yeah, when they were in Tunisia, that's what they did when they did the original Star Wars. They had they didn't have a big budget, so that's how they did the breakdown.
Lol.
Yeah, Vanessa said it was a beautiful. She saw it. Tatiana, I thought you would have seen it. Okay, so here's another crowd shot. So this is kind of cool. Like, so there's some, again, some unknowns here, and I really like this guy's northern cloak here. It's like that curly wool. This could be.
I thought it was like one of the last of the Night's Watch.
I think he is, but this could be an IKEA rug. It could be. Yeah. Well, apparently Sam's, like Michelle, I told you in a couple of, I think when we did our first episode that Michelle was really like, no, John's isn't an IKEA rug, but a lot of the Night Swats were, and one whose was Samwell Tarley. Yeah. And it looked like this. It looked like short, curly, kind of like, what is it? What do they call that style? It's like, woolly mammoths. So from South America, those types of yak or something. Someone in the chat will know. I don't know. So I think exactly. I think that could be an IKEA rug. I'm just gonna say that. This guy's got a great look, eh? Whoever does the casting on this does a really good job.
He kind of looks like an older John.
He does. Yeah.
Hot. Not gonna lie.
Hot older man.
Hot older John.
And then we've got like Sansa's over here kind of thing. Oh, she was genuinely upset, eh? She was apparently like, oh, alpaca or a llama. Thank you guys. Because when I'm at home, I just usually when I can't think of something, I just Google it. Heidi, you stole my thought. I was going to mention the throne. Oh, okay. Yeah. Isn't it beautiful though, Vanessa? So what I was going to say here is that I read that, or Shether said it, or I read in an interview that Sophie Turner said that David Nutter came up to her before the scene and kind of gave her a little bit of subtext to what was going on there. And that's when she broke out crying. So she actually broke out crying before the scene. I think I got a picture of her. This is terrible. Oh, I'm really sorry. I grabbed this. This is her ugly crying. But the reason why I grabbed this picture, because it's a really great close-up of her wig. Yeah. And something someone had talked about is that I think what they did is they took these little baby hairs and kind of put it around the edge. So it kind of gave it a little bit more of a natural look. And I think it did.
It works.
But it looks really, like last season, I don't know what it was, but this season the hair has been really great. And I feel really bad when I saw this picture. She's so upset. She'd be like, I want my mummy.
Well, so, yeah. She needs to be, because you can't break character, even if they cut. Do you know how hard it is to cry on screen or on stage? Believe me, I have tried many times to cry when a scene calls for it and it just doesn't come out. It's hard.
I can't even imagine. So I think for her, if she's going to lose it, this would have been a good time to lose it. You know what I mean? Because she didn't have any dialogue, so it was probably a good time. That's a pretty good shot. And I grabbed this picture of John. I thought it was really good. A really nice picture of him. He looks really great. And then they did a good job on the makeup. That looks like those wounds look so real. The makeup's amazing. I think it's fantastic. So looking at this, I'm pretty certain, and we've talked about this, Michelle uses a lot of faux fur. This looks real to me though. It really does. I don't know how you could find something that's fake that looks as good as that. And she said she struggled with that. But one of the things I was going to say, if anyone's watching and is upset about the use of fur, they never use virgin fur. It's always repurposed. And actually, when I did the Alienist as well, Michael Kaplan is the designer on the Alienist, and he's the same guy I was telling you who is doing the new Star Wars movies. He says he never uses virgin fur. So this is what they try to do. They try to get like old coats and things like that and cut them up. So
Something. I can dig it, I guess.
So these guys apparently were the Night's Watch. This was their last scene. So there you can see there were some of the Night's Watch guys. This was their last day. And then the guy behind him looks like a wildling.
Yeah.
This guy over here. It's kind of neat to see this in again, you see the curly wool, I think, the alpaca, or see the curly wool.
Probably.
I personally thought that was actually pretty clever. Like that would have been something I would have done. I would have totally have grabbed some old. I did a show one time where I worked with this designer and she said, "Oh, here, let's go to the hardware store." We went to the hardware store. She bought bags full of stuff. I'm like, "What are you going to do with all this?" And she basically took all this hardware stuff and had it sewed all onto the costumes. It was really, really cool. So you never know what you're going to end up using.
I think that's why I never really throw away things.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a hoarder because they say, "Well, I might need this for something in the future."
Yeah, I know. I had, it's terrible. I had for years. I had a bag of plastic fruit that I found, and I was like, I'm going to make a Carmen Miranda, headpiece at some point, and I never did. But I had that bag of fruit for like years, and finally I said, okay, that's it. I have to get rid of this bag of fruit. But no, I did. I had like all kinds of stuff, and I found, you know what I did with a lot of the stuff, because Jack and I had moved a few times, and we needed to just clear out some stuff. I ended up giving a lot of it to daycares, especially like old scraps of fabric and things like that. Daycares or daycare centers. It's a really great place if you have old crafts you want to have it go to a good home. So here's a close-up of them doing some of the makeup.
Oh yeah,
the prosthetics so this is the scene when they were doing the library. Yeah. Or where is it in the library with Maria? Yeah. Isn't this one amazing?
I love it.
I don't have a picture of it. The other one I loved is there's one of like a priest or something is wearing like a priest's outfit. I guess he would be like a septon, I guess. But it looked like an old priest outfit. It was all shredded and torn up. The ones in the crypts too were really good. So here's just a really cool close-up of them working. Like they're working with tweezers and just like you actually have two people in here because it's crazy.
Well, yeah. One person doing this will never end. I just love the detail they go up to the eyelids, like just the eyelids. That is such a interesting bit of detail that they add.
And then okay, so now I have the Night King. So this is Vlad. This is just the top of his head. They put on. Yeah, you can see his own hair under there. So there's a picture there I have of him. He's looking in the mirror as they're doing it. It's so well done.
He's adorable.
He is adorable. So,
and I love the scenes where he was like in full on costume and he's just smiling and joking around, just just walking and
I know,
being cool and everything. It's like, oh my god, the Night King is just palling around. What is this?
I love how he said,
I need a sitcom with the Night King. Someone give me a sitcom with the Night King.
I know. Well, it was really cute because he was talking about whether he preferred being an actor versus being a stunt person. He was kind of like preferred the stunt because actors kind of, well, I mean, he's silent on camera. He didn't have lines. So, but he was acting for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
One of the things I loved, and I grabbed this picture, there were a few shots of other background as well, like the zombies, the fingernails and the hands as well, like the detail. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, right? Where they just, all of the details.
Yeah.
It's so well done. Those nails and the design. And there's a really great close-up of his contact. See, I didn't even notice that he was wearing like a contact with that star. Yeah, you thought it was CG. Yeah, it's practical.
Well, I'm guessing that they make it CG so it can glow, but not the entire eye. I thought apparently they only use CG on his eyes to make them glow.
So I thought it was CG as well. So that's really interesting. So they did. It's pretty practical because then by the time you get here, this looks like him. This pretty much looks like him, right?
This is basically Night King. Period.
In this costume. And here's actually, this is a pretty good shot of it. I thought this is pretty good. It looks like cracked, like this looks like actually like cracked ice.
Yeah.
Like his cranium is cracking. It's really, yeah, it's really well done. I mean, they must have won some awards. I know Michelle's won quite a few awards, but the makeup people must have won awards too because it's outstanding.
Oh,
Now I get why they didn't do more with the Night King because he's not a trained actor. Yeah. So apparently back in season, I think it was season 2 or 3, whatever Hard Home is that season 3 or 4? That's a different actor.
Five. Season 5.
So that's a different actor. And I'm not sure what went on there. Then they replaced him with Vlad. It's kind of like The Mountain's been 3 actors now. So they needed somebody who was able to do stunts. So that's why I think they got Vlad in the last few years. His story of growing in a ghetto of Czech Republic was also amazing. He is very humble. He's such a sweetheart. And I love his, Vanessa was talking about this earlier when he explains about Night King. Night King made Night King. He's upset. He's angry. He wants to kill everyone. What did he say? He's like, he
wants revenge for his creation.
Yeah, he had a very simple explanation. I thought was good because everyone was like, what's the Night King's arc? He angry. He made Night King. No, I loved it. It was really great.
I love it.
It's pretty amazing.
I'm still sad he didn't get to use his sword. I wanted him to.
Me too, yeah.
Because that's a vicious looking sword.
Yeah, and I think that sword was made for this season. He had the spear. Was it?
He?
Well, he had a spear last year. Maybe he had a sword and a spear.
Maybe it was I think he had a sword last.
Okay, and now this is Danny's trailer. So these are a bunch of wigs. Now I know it was funny because they were talking about this wig here. This is actually Gilly's wig.
Yeah, she's just ready for a night on town.
Night on town, but I don't know who the other ones are. You know who any of these are? I mean, was Miss Sunday have her own hair?
That one on the right might be Miss Sunday.
Is that I thought that was her own hair.
I don't know. I think so. I don't know.
So I don't know who all these belong to. What does that say?
The other ones might be like
Bran. No, what does that say? I don't know what that's. It looked like Bran. I was fangirling for him too much. Yeah, he's awesome. I loved him. So there she is getting French braids. Now in theater, what they do, this is what they used to do. They would take little sections of your hair and put them into like little pin curls. But this is sort of the same idea. They're trying to just, move some bulk so that you don't have all that bulk there. And then they put this, I think this is silicone. I could be incorrect. We used to make these pates when I was in school. So you can make them out of latex or silicone. It's like a ball pate kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then you just, you glue it down and then you trim it. And then you put, I don't have verification of this, but I think the makeup she's putting on here, we used to call it rubber mask grease paint. Did you ever use that, Tatiana? Like if you're putting on a prosthetic?
I only ever put on a prosthetic once, and that was I think last Halloween when I did my stepdad's makeup because it was going as Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, he needed a ball cap.
Yeah. So did you did the ball cap?
Yeah, I did the ball cap badly because again it's the first time.
Okay.
But I use latex. I basically just use latex and maybe a bit of spirit gum. Although spirit gum I never really use. So
basically if the ball paint is latex or silicone, you can't put regular makeup, like you can't put like regular stage makeup on. It won't stick. So they have to use this stuff called rubber mask grease paint, which it will actually stick to it. So the same with prosthetics, they have to use a special type of makeup. So I think that's what she's using. And it was interesting because we were talking about her dyeing her hair. I don't know, because Kevin Alexander's the hair designer. He was saying that she that you could see her dark hair through it. That's why they have to put this thing on, right? This cap on to block out the color. So I'm not sure what the reasoning for her doing the blonde hair. I thought maybe she had another role. That's why she did it.
I thought maybe she just wanted to change her hair. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some people just want to change their hair.
Yeah. So they just do this, and that way the actor can have do whatever they want with their hair. It would be easier to throw a wig on Missandei for consistency. Curly hair has a mind of its own. That's true. Yeah, that's a very good point. Because especially if you're dealing with, different types of conditions, so you might be right. And then they can style it the way they want. So you could be right. Yeah, it does look like Missandei. I was thinking this one next to it could be Melisandre. It's not that red, but it kind of looks like the style, I thought.
A little bit, but it needs to be more red. She has like
more red. So these could just be for minor. These could be for minor characters.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's her wig. This is a really great picture. Actually, I was pretty happy with this. You can see all the braids. So braids into braids. So of course we've talked about this. I haven't actually analyzed this. Have you analyzed this? Like, for every battle she wins, she has a braid, like the Dothraki. So how many does anyone know in the chat how many battles she's won and how many braids she should have?
Well, let's see. We have the loot train. In Marine, we got the Siege of Marine. We got the winning against killing all the Dothraki calls. Winning Astapor, Marine the first time, Yunkai Cars.
Is that one?
That's 7.
Did you have the one against the Slaver's Bay? Did you include Slaver's Bay in there?
Yeah, exactly. Like all the different cities.
So that's 7. So how many braids is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, one is 6, and the big one in the middle is 7.
What are the other ones?
It's like, okay, you got like.
Oh, you're gonna count the one in the middle as. Oh, you're counting the one in the middle as 7. Okay, that makes sense. 5 in Essos, 2 in Westeros. Yep. 7. Very cool. I met this girl at a cosplay event, and she was dressed up as Dany, and I said, "Oh, did you know that thing about the whole, with the braids?" And she's like, "Oh my god, no, I didn't know. I've got chills." I thought that was so cute. She was adorable. She was like adorbs. That was one of the worst. By the way, I just found out what the eggplant emoji means, and it was really weird. Well,
you finally got it.
It was funny because I was watching this was actually one of those, Vanity Fair Google, when you Google search somebody, famous person, and then they autocomplete, I think it is. And so it was actually David Tennant, and he said he didn't know what these certain emojis were. And one of them was eggplant. And I'm like, I have no idea what the eggplant emoji is. And then I think someone used it for me yesterday. And I'm like, oh my God, I just found out what the eggplant emoji means. That's how sheltered I am.
What the emoji means?
Oh, okay. Bye, Sonia. Sonia says it's 2 a.m. here, and I've got to go wake up at 5 a.m. for work, so I'm going to go sleep now. Thanks for the live and amazing info. It was all fun. Game of Thrones is my favorite show. Costumes and all, so loved it. Bye, Sonia. Yeah, it's only. Oh, hey, Jose is here. I don't think Melisandre ever has her hair done up like that. Oh, no. I wasn't saying her hair was done up like that. Sometimes they just sort of do that to keep it neat. That's what I was just sort of thinking. Or to put it around. Yeah, like just to keep it, or like keep a bit of a wave in it or whatever. Yeah. But no, I think you're right. It's probably not. Okay, so we've got that. So there she's putting on the wig. And you can barely see the hair lace. I mean, I know this is not you just see it as she's stretching it over. You can barely see it. It's pretty well done. And then there she is with it on. Looks pretty good. And then they anchor it in. And she looks lovely. Looking pretty.
Looking sexy.
Sexy. Yeah, so they do the wig first, and then I guess they do makeup, and then or maybe they do costume and then makeup. Not sure the order. I kind of wish they had done them getting into costume. That was like a little bit disappointing. Like I realized they could only follow so many people.
Yeah, I think HBO only let them like do the extras because they're extras and they're not the main characters. But the main characters, like, no, they're protective of the
Yeah. Yeah, because so in this segment, they're actually following her hair person
yeah.
as opposed to Amelia herself. But Amelia was really great, though. She's awesome. I love her. She's so cute. Oh, that's the end of it. All
Oh,
right.
I love the table read.
Oh yeah,
The last
I didn't
table.
put pictures of it, but we can talk about that.
It was freaking adorable, and I like when they realized that Arya was the one that was gonna kill the Night King. I was like, oh, and just like Arya just was feeling herself, like, yes, girl, like, yes, and you can see like Kit, like, oh my god, seriously, like his face was everything.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about is like the one thing that everyone was talking about was Varys, Conleth Hill. Is it Conleth Hill?
Yeah, let's go.
I said, well, did I know that Kit Harington didn't know what was going to happen at the table read? Like he went in there cold. He didn't want to read it until the table read. Whereas Amelia Clark, I think she said she did because I read an interview with her. So it's interesting to know like who knew what was going to happen versus who didn't know what was going to happen.
And
And
I when he read that he was gonna kill Danny, his face, he was like, "Oh shit, what, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, you kill me."
I know. And also with and the Night King, when he finds out that Arya is going to be killing the Night King, he's like, "What?"
And
Yeah.
you're like, okay, yeah, and just are and Macy's like, "Yes, bitch, woo!" He's like, "What?"
Vanessa said Conleth knew, but he went mad again. Um, oh, she deleted it. Or did you delete it? Yeah. So So Kit's like he's I haven't been talking about on this Twitter. It's funny because there's people on Twitter. This is sort of funny. There'll be people on Twitter who will say, anyone who talks about Kit being in the rehab, you shouldn't be doing that, or you should, making fun of it or whatever. But I just kind of just didn't talk about it because I don't know. I try not to talk about their personal lives.
Oh,
And
did 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 you know that after season 8 ended, apparently there were psychologists like in schools that were like ready to talk to like kids about Game of Thrones because like the emotions were so hard that they couldn't get through it. It's like the
like
like
high school,
literally,
students?
I think it's not only in schools, but like psychologists like all over. People like Game of Thrones fans were like just so mind banged about the ending and that they just couldn't cope that literally psychologists were offering their services to Game of Thrones fans to
Wow.
talk about
Yeah, like therapy sessions because people were so disappointed. Or not just disappointed, but just the fact that it had ended and it was such a I mean, I could kind of understand it. Like, I remember years ago, I kind of got over it. But I remember when I first started working in theater, and we would do a play, and you put all this energy and all this passion into it, and then at the end of it, it would be like, whoa, and you really would come down. It would be really depressing. And then I went
yeah.
through theater school, and the same thing, and you just get so invested in it and feel so emotional. So I can't imagine what it'd be like for people who are in it. And then if you're in the fandom and you've been like really into it, like just totally obsessing over it for the past 8 years, and maybe you're into the books as well, it would be a huge emotional letdown after all that. I think
Yeah.
I can totally see that. And especially because, a lot of people in fandom are already very sensitive people. They're creative people themselves. So I could see that. But I tended to stay away from the stuff about the actors. I just sort of stayed with the costumes. So I wasn't like there were a lot of people who were really like into, so if people found out that Kit had
Also,
gone to rehab, they probably would have been
so you didn't know that Emilia Clarke suffered two aneurysms during the course of the show?
I read about it, but I never talked about it. I never talked, I never shared that out or anything. I read about it because I figured like it's her private life. So I just I tend to like because what had happened was I had this thing happen to me years ago. When I first started working in theater, I would kind of get close with the actors, and I just found that it I don't know how to explain it. Um it sometimes felt like I was being taken advantage of. So I got to the point where I would just try and keep it professional with them. And then
Mm.
from there on, it was a lot better for me because I had a couple of situations where actors where like I would be, really, really, really friendly. And then the next thing I know, they would be sort of taking advantage of me. And I felt like it was like a one-way street, like the relationship was one way. And then once the show was over, I wouldn't hear from them again. So it was really disappointing for me. So what I started doing is I started sort of guarding myself more. And I, because I got to the point where I was doing a lot of shows. So I would be working with so many different people. So I couldn't really build that many relationships with people. So, but I did get to know some actors that I would work with repeatedly. So then that would be kind of different. But if I only worked with them one time, I used to just sort of like, okay, that's it. And that was my way of sort of guarding myself from when the end of the show came. I could just be like, okay, well, I'm going to go back to my life now. And a lot of the crew in that, we would hang out outside of work. So that was cool. And I would work on them on multiple shows. So I got to know them. But that's sort of one of the reasons why I kind of stay out of the actors' lives.
Mm.
Yes, Colin.
Oh, I
What,
love during Kit's last scene that was
oh
like
yeah,
the confrontation
Vanessa's talking about that.
and between him and Grey Worm. That was his last scene. And I
Mm-hmm.
love how he just moseying on up with the extras jacket that he was given by Andrew. And he's like, man, this is like the best gift I ever had. This is like my favorite thing. Like from everything in this show, this is like my favorite thing. He's like, really? He's like, oh, and like the extra just loves him. He's like, oh my god. And then when the scene was over and they wrapped, and it's like, oh, this is Kit Harington, Grey Worm, and John Cunningham. John Cunningham. Davos's last scene in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
And
the three of them were wrapped at the same time. See, I don't remember. I just remember Kit.
yeah,
Yeah.
Liam Cunningham, and I forget Grey Worm's name. I know it's something Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
But and then like Kit, he like gives a speech. It's like this is the win, and he just breaks down crying. I was like, if you cry, I'd cry. Oh my god, I just couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with Kit crying and just being so emotional because this has like transformed his life. This made him an A-list celebrity. I was like, we love you. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Oh, I just did you read Angel Over? She said there are a few shows I loved that I couldn't finish the last season of, like Lost Girl, for example. Yeah, so because you feel so I haven't kept up with Supernatural, but I've watched pretty much every season of Supernatural, and it would be, it'd be pretty devastating toward the end, like just to see it finish.
Oh yeah, this is the last 15 is the last one.
Yeah, so I can see that it is. It's pretty like you put a lot of investment in it. And so, I always think people make fun of like that's what I was saying, but this guy's saying, get over it. It's the same with sports. Like people who are into sports, which I'm not into sports, but there are people who are like right now we have a Raptors. See, I don't even really know what's going on, but the Raptors are in the NBA or something. And so people in Toronto are going crazy. Please you guys don't at me about this. Okay. I don't know anything about sports, but I know that they're a basketball team and I know that they're from Toronto and they're in the NBA playoffs or something. So, but people into sports, for instance, like, they go nuts. Like I'm in Toronto and whenever there is a soccer game, because I live like in a really multicultural city and we have, I don't know, like probably 40 different cultures plus in the city. So anytime there is a World Cup, for instance, Tatiana, like, do you guys have this experience? We have a World Cup. Whenever there is a World Cup going on, it's like 2 weeks of the year. It is crazy here. I moved out of the center of the city.
Oh, girl, yes.
Yeah.
Especially FIFA.
Yeah.
FIFA here, it's huge.
So they probably do this there too. What they do here is they get in their cars and they drive around with their flags and yell out the window and get drunk and stuff. Is that what they do?
Well, no, they just basically everybody just goes to a bar. Yeah. Or in my case, they go to my work because my work they display the game and you can hear like wah! Whoa! Yeah. Because I know at least the owners and all the servers and all the managers, they always take bets on who's gonna win. I like soccer. It's like international football is like the only sport I can really tolerate for a
Sure.
long periods of time.
Hmm.
I don't care about volleyball. I don't really care about basketball. I don't care about baseball. But soccer, I like. I like. I don't love, but I like.
Well, in Toronto, so they're all at the bars, but when the game is over and they leave the bar, they all get in their cars and they drive around and they honk their horns and they wave their flags. And so like it'll be like Greece or Portugal or Spain or Brazil. Brazil's always like the big one.
Yeah.
Always. They have a huge community in Toronto and they just drive around and they honk their horns and this is what they do. So Jack and I, we used to live in Little Brazil. And so we were like, we've got to get the hell out of here because it was just like, it was driving us crazy every year. Right. And so now we're out in the outstretches, so we don't have it as much. So I kind of look at it as that. I'm like, so we have, we have fandom, we have like movies and TV shows that we really love, and then we geek out over, and then they have their sports. People always have something that they get obsessed about. So like I say, if the end of the World Series, the day the World Series ends, people don't just stop talking about it. People keep talking about it for weeks to come, right?
And if it's particularly good, it makes history books, and we'll keep talking.
It does. And Game of Thrones is going to be in the history books. It's broken all kinds of records.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done what they've done before, right? So it's going to be, people are going to be talking about it for like decades to come.
They're like the Lord of the Rings of TV shows.
Absolutely.
Before them, for example, before Lord of the Rings, the fantasy genre wasn't really taken very seriously. Then Game of Thrones, then Lord of the Rings came, and everybody just wanted to be Lord of the Rings. Before Game of Thrones, like, yeah, there were some good TV shows and everything, yeah, but then Game of Thrones came, and TV shows became not just good, they became cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
It became like a real freaking movie.
Oh, I just want to show you.
And after that, every if not most of TV shows or like TV dramas or something like that, they want to be as cinematic as Game of Thrones. Just like look at American Gods, for example.
Mm-hmm.
American Gods is of course it's younger, it's in the second season, but they're so cinematic. Love it or hate it, you cannot contest the level of cinematic brilliance that is in that show.
Yeah, and I think like Breaking Bad is one. I mean, not in the fantasy genre, but at least in the storytelling drama, but also it's beautifully shot as well. I think a lot of the HBO shows, the AMC shows have really set the precedence. I wanted to show you guys, by the way, I got my kids into Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't have this last time. Look what I got. Isn't he cute?
Groot. Baby Groot.
Yeah. This is the first. I don't have a lot of what do they call pop figures? But this is the first one. This is the first one. He has a wobbly head. See, I guess they all do. Do they all have that?
No, I have one of Sherlock. Let me get it.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I've got my kids. So we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and then we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then we watched. Well, we had already seen Ant-Man, so then we just watched Ant-Man. We just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp the other night. And Leland wants to go see the new Avengers movie but we have to go back and watch the first Avengers. And
see, this is my Sherlock, my baby Sherlock.
Oh, he's so cute.
I think it was made to England.
Is it for the TV show Sherlock?
Yes, this is my as close as I ever get to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Do you love him, Benedict? Actually, it's funny because we also watched Thor Ragnarok, and Doctor Strange is in that.
I've only ever seen Doctor Strange from Marvel movies. I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok or any of the other.
Oh, okay. He just has a very small part in. He has a very small part in Ragnarok. You haven't seen Thor Ragnarok? It's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
I haven't, honestly, the list of Marvel movies I have seen will be a lot shorter than the ones that I haven't seen.
Okay. I've seen, it's funny because I'm really bad though. I'll see one of the movies and then I'll completely forget it. So I was online one day and I was like, who is this guy? I don't even know who that is. And they're like, that's Bucky. What's his face from this episode, this show? And I'm like, I don't know. Winter Soldier. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I've seen the movie, I just don't remember. But I think I've seen pretty much all of them. I've seen them all. But I think my favorite is probably Black Panther is one of my favorite. That one's super memorable. And Thor was really good. And that's because Thor was directed by Tikiti Wakiki or whatever, the New Zealand actor. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Have you seen in the Shadows with him where he's a vampire?
In the Shadows, who?
In the Shadows, it's not Takiti? Watiki?
Waikiki. So something African.
He's from New Zealand. He's Maori. Anyway, in the Shadows, it's about these 4 guys. They live in a flat in England, or maybe it's New Zealand.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it.
They're all vampires. They're all vampires, but it's supposed to be like these 4 mates. They just happen to be vampires, though. What We Do in the Shadows. Maybe that's what it is. What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
things they do in the shadow. Yeah. So it's really funny. Anyway, so that's one of my favorite ones. But I have to still see the last Avengers. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, it's funny because Leland's 13. He's just getting into this stuff. Like I could not get him into that. I tried to show him Star Wars. No, didn't want to see any of it. He's really into Nintendo. So there's a new Sonic movie coming out, but unfortunately the Sonic is really bad. So he's pretty upset about that.
Oh yeah, no. I saw the trailers.
Yeah.
It was disturbing.
But he wants to see Pikachu, even though Detective Pikachu, even though he's not into that. But that movie looks good, actually. Vanessa says, "Have you seen the Grand Budapest Hotel?" Oh my God, are you kidding? Yes, I love it. I'm gonna review that. That's another Wes Anderson. That's another director I really love.
I've seen it. I love the costumes. I love like the cinematography.
Great.
It's gorgeous, as all Wes Anderson movies are.
Like Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton is that old lady.
What?
Tilda Swinton in that is that old lady. You know, the lady with money.
Fabulous.
Isn't she? The costumes are made, and the purple suits that they wear in the hotel.
Yeah,
I love those.
Everything was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't love the story. I just didn't find it funny. I tried to laugh. I really did, but I just couldn't. I couldn't laugh. I was vaguely entertained. And
it's not supposed to be like, but you like other Wes Anderson movies? Like, I don't think it's like a chuckle laugh out loud type of movie.
I think that's like the only movie that I've seen of his, actually.
Mm-hmm.
From Budapest.
Oh yeah, I've seen them all. I think I've seen the only one I haven't seen is the one on the island of dogs. Isle of Dogs. I haven't seen that. That's the only one. But I've seen all his movies. They're all the costumes are always amazing. They're always really weird and campy and interesting. The one I really like is the one about it's a camping movie. Like no, it's like a children's camp, I think. I can't remember.
Moonlight Kingdom, something like that.
Oh yeah, I think that's it. I think Moonlight Kingdom. Yeah, that one was really cool.
Like, I know the titles, and I know that there's also the Isle of Dogs. That was like
Isle of Dogs. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. You've got yours, and I've got mine. My little Groot, baby Groot. Leon loves it. Leon, my older son, he loves when Groot becomes a teenager, and Will or whatever his name is comes into his room, is like, clean your room.
Peter,
Moonlight Kingdom. I can't remember. You know what I need to do? I'm gonna get a bulletin board and put all these characters' names down so I can remember them. I can out remember.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to chat about before we wrap up?
Are you gonna do any costume videos that are not from Game of Thrones?
I think what I'm gonna do, I think my first non-Game of Thrones video is gonna be the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Oh. I've been thinking about doing. Have you seen it?
I have yet to see it.
It's really, really good. It's funny and it's really good, and the costumes are amazing. And then I just found out we were talking about Carrie Elwes. Carrie Elwes is going to be on it next season 3. Ooh. The guy who played Shazam was in it last season. Have you seen Shazam, by the way? What a great movie!
I haven't. I haven't seen a lot of movies. Like Shazam,
anytime there's a kids movie, we go because like my kids are, Like we'll probably go see Detective Pikachu, and then I think there's another one coming out. We're gonna probably go see. Yeah, whenever there's a new Toy Story 4. We always go see whenever there's a kids movie. Oh, hey, John, how are you doing? He says, I want to see Shazam. Shazam is awesome. If anybody, it's such a fun, it's like something you would watch when you're a kid. Like it's really entertaining. It's a little bit scary. Like my 10-year-old was a little bit scared by it. But if you have but 12 and above totally would be fine. And it's just wildly entertaining. And the main actor in it is really good. And it was shot in Toronto. Cool. By the way. John, were you barbecuing? He's usually barbecuing this time of night. Midnight in Paris.
I go for some barbecue. Yeah.
What is Midnight in Paris? Is that Woody Allen?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great movie.
You should also do that movie. At least for like the past characters.
Yeah. But then coming back to Game of Thrones, so Tatiana, Tatiana and I had talked about doing the, costumes that are like oftentimes get overlooked. Like we haven't, we haven't come up. What were we going to call it?
The top 10, top 20 underrated costumes.
Underrated, yeah. So we thought like the costumes. So that should be the next one you and I could work on together. If you want to do that.
Yeah.
And what kind of restaurant do you work at? Is it, by the way?
Oh, it's a Mexican restaurant. Yeah.
You work at a Mexican restaurant in Puerto Rico.
Yes. There are a lot. Believe me, there are a lot of
by the way, I found a really great an authentic Mexican restaurant, like in Toronto, not like Tex-Mex Mexican, but authentic Mexican. And it's sort of become my new place to go. And I know it's authentic because a lot of people who go there are Mexican. It's like if you go to a Chinese restaurant in Toronto and you notice everyone there is Chinese, it probably means I used to go to this authentic Chinese restaurant, and I worked with these people. They were from China, and the one of the owners used to say to me, Heidi, if you eat lots of rotten tofu, you'll drive Chinese man crazy. Because, and it was weird because it was like, it was kind of, have you ever had rotten tofu before?
No, but I saw a show where a guy, I think, traveled to Taiwan, I think it was, and he had it. And I think it's like an aphrodisiac.
Well, I don't know about that, but like, I think what he was saying is that you'll smell like it, but to be honest with you, it was kind of butter. It was like some of it having, like they put it on the vegetables, like say on steamed vegetables, and then they put it over top of it. And it was actually really good because they ordered the food. So it was like the stuff that you would never order yourself. You're like, I don't know what that is, but they're like, here, eat this. So I would be eating it because like I said, it was authentically Chinese. And he said, if you eat lots of this, honey, you're going to drive Chinese men crazy. So I don't know what it was about it. Maybe it is an aphrodisiac. Maybe it gives off pheromones or something. But I just found it kind of tasted like butter, like a marinade sort of thing. So anyways, but back to this Mexican place Jack and I discovered. It's really good, but sometimes like some of the flavors are so strong mixed together. Like we had these tacos and it was feta cheese in it. I never even knew they put feta cheese in food before, but it was feta and guacamole and beans and cheese and like all these really strong flavors. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. But it's a really cool little little place we found. So that's going to be our new little restaurant. And they make amazing margaritas, which is my favorite thing, because that's my favorite cocktail. What's your favorite cocktail, Tatiana?
Sangria.
Oh, really?
Yes, I love me some sangria all the time, anytime, anywhere.
Oh, Sabina's back. Hi, Sabina. Didn't you leave?
Yes. Oh yes, Downton Abbey. You have to review Downton Abbey, girl. You have to.
I have it on my list. I'm going to do Mary. I think. I'll have to do one. I'll have to do one character at a time.
Start with Mary. It's okay. Start with Mary.
Yeah, Mary. I think she's a good one to start with.
If you want to go with like someone a bit easier that doesn't have as many things, I will go with Sybil.
Yeah.
Because have you seen the show?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know that she doesn't last long in the show.
You know that she had the same condition that, okay, spoilers. Has anybody here not seen Downton Abbey? She had the same condition I had when I was pregnant. But see, in those days, they didn't have a treatment for it. So, and now, like the likelihood of dying from it in Canada or the United States is almost nothing. Now, if you live in a third world country, there's a higher chance. So, but because it was like the turn of the century, I love her. She's in my favorite episode. That actress, she's in my favorite episode of Black Mirror.
Ooh.
She's in the one about the bicycles. Have you ever seen Black Mirror?
Nope. I've never been into all that Twilight Zone-y kind of
thing. Oh, John says, no, we went out to dinner tonight. Otherwise, I would have been barbecuing. My friend is authentic Mexican. He makes great enchiladas. He is Mexican-Italian, so he has the best of both cultures. Oh, my God. I'm so jealous. Oh, well, I have a friend who's Mexican as well.
You know what? My stepmom's niece, she is Mexican Puerto Rican, and she just married an American Thai guy from like Texas or Boston.
Yeah. Yes, Angel Lover, it was eclampsia. That's exactly it. Yeah, that's what I had. So, well, it was funny too, because my friend, she was like, right before what was it? I don't know if it was just after I had the baby. She's like, oh yeah, a friend of mine had I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. And then my friend was like, oh yeah, I know someone who had a preeclampsia and she died. And I'm like, why would you tell me that? Like right before I had the baby. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, right?
Yeah, say that after I get the baby and I'm safe.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, so I ended up with this thing called HELP syndrome, which is like where your liver starts to shut down. And I didn't even know, like I had no idea what was going on. I was totally clueless what was happening. And so they're like, okay, we have to get the baby out of you. Okay. So then I went back to my doctor after and he's like, what the hell happened? And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, I don't know. You have this terrible condition. You're lucky to be alive. What? And that's what, so that's what she ended up having in Downton Abbey. Because in those days, they didn't have 20 million credits. Yes, that's the best. That's my favorite. Black Mirror. There's lots of solid Black Mirror episodes. So yeah, not helpful. I know. Well, my friend, she's one of those people. She just sometimes doesn't have a filter. You know, she just doesn't. Like she means well, but I was one of those people when I met other people who were pregnant. I would never say to them, "Oh, by the way, this is what happens," because I always say your experience is going to be your experience. So. Like my second pregnancy was easy. It was super easy. I had no problems. It was just with my first one. So there you go. Now, what else were we going to say? Oh, Gentleman Jack. That was the other one people keep asking me about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vanessa says it probably was Mexican American or I don't know, Tex-Mex. I think that's what they call it up here. But my husband.
No. I was also thinking that you should if you want to do like a comic book like show on the costumes, Gotham will be a really good one.
Oh yeah, I never watched that. I don't know if I'd get into that.
I loved it. It just ended.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, after 5 seasons. The 5th season wasn't. It didn't end well. I liked the 5th season. I did not like the last episode. The last episode kind of ruined a lot of things for me. But. Yeah. It is really fun. It's like a cross between Christopher Nolan Batman and Joel Schumacher Batman. Oh. And you think it wouldn't work because they're like they're like basically opposite ends of the spectrum, but somehow they make it work, and it is fabulous. And I love Penguin and I love the Riddler.
Yeah,
they are fabulous.
Well, what we should do, since this is our last like Game of Thrones, Game of Queens, we were going to keep the name of the show, though I like the name. We'll have to pick out another show that you and I both watch, and we could talk about it.
Yeah.
So guys, we'll have to think of a show to talk about. We could do American Gods, or we could do we can think of something that's maybe more costumey than that. I mean, season 2 of American Gods, I don't find it as costumey. Like there's not a lot. I don't know. It looks more like I guess there's the Jin, or not the Jin, but Mama G, who I love that actress, by the way. She's great.
They also don't have as many costumes. Like the most
Not as
costumes
many.
in the first episode.
Yeah, yeah, and like because
Although I did like the costumes of Baron Samedi and Mama Brigitte when they go to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did like those two. Those two costumes.
As always, Mr. Nancy is the best dressed. Like no contest.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mr. Nancy. I worked with him, by the way. I did a TV show.
You work with Orlando Jones?
Oh, sorry, no. Oh, sorry, no, I got it wrong. No, sorry, Mr. Ibis. Sorry, Mr. Ibis.
Well, he's still fabulous.
The coroner. I worked with him on his show. He's from Canada. Oh no, I would have loved. Orlando Jones has this movie that he's in. I'm always quoting from this movie. It's like Schlitz malt liquor. Have you ever seen that? Where he's like talking about Schlitz malt liquor, keeping it. You ain't representing. You ain't keeping it real. You ever seen that? Sorry, I'm trying to do urban. And it sounds stupid because I'm an old white lady. But yeah, I can't remember what it is because originally he did comedy, right? He's a comedy actor, and he did.
I didn't know that. Actually, the only time I can remember seeing him before American Gods is Sleepy Hollow, where he played a detective in Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I think he might have been on Mad TV. I have to double check. Yeah, someone just said Mad TV. So he was on Mad TV, and he did this like kind of road. It was like a buddy road movie. What do you call it? A road buddy. You know, when you go.
A road trip buddy movie.
Road trip buddy movie. He did this movie, so it's him and this other guy. It was another comedic actor, and it's kind of like they were like, Key and Peele, kind of like those two. Yeah. So, and because they're Mad TV as well, right? So they're like traveling together on this road trip, and I think he's like, either he's a poor person who's gotten a hold of some money, or has money, has gotten poor. I can't remember. It was like a rags to riches, or the opposite, like trading places. So it was just so funny. And for years I've been quoting. I've had his voice in my head about this Schlitz malt liquor, which I don't know if anybody's ever had Schlitz malt liquor, by the way. It's like malt liquor is one of the nastiest things I've ever had in my life. Years ago, I met this woman. She was from Paris, France, and she was crazy. And she was this tiny little thing. She probably only weighed like, I don't know, she's probably only like not even 5 feet. And she was blind in one eye, but I worked with her. So I used to have to walk her home because she couldn't like cross the street. So I would walk her home, and she used to always invite me over for like prosciutto. Like she'd go to the butcher and buy like a big prosciutto and then get thin slices of it with melon. And then she would serve that to me with like, fake crab, like the pollock crab and Schlitz malt liquor, which would come in like these big cans. And it's kind of like a beer, but it's so disgusting, but it's got like 8% alcohol or something. So I would be wasted. I would be so drunk. I'd be eating prosciutto and fake crab with this little Parisian French lady. It was just nuts.
Wow, that was an experience. That was an experience.
Yeah. Oh, Ike Turner. Yes, he was Ike Turner. I once told my mom Orlando Jones was in Time Machine, and she asked if he was Moloch. What's a Moloch?
I have no idea what it is.
Mr. Ibis plays Raphael on Supernatural. Yes, he does. Yeah. So I worked with that guy years ago. I did a TV show called The Associates, and it was about lawyers, and he was in it, and he was a really nice guy. I don't know. I had nothing to add to that. He was a nice person. Yeah. Orlando Joops. Yeah, he's really good, and his clothes are really good. I actually have to say I'm not as crazy about his suit this year. There's something a little bit different about it. I don't know what it is, if it's because it's kind of on the bias or something. I just kind of preferred his suits from last season better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you too? Okay, it's a different designer this year.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what happened.
Because it's like he went from mostly pink to mostly blue.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, I was okay with it because I was like, it was like a choice.
I did like the burlesque outfit though. You remember the burlesque? I love that. That girl, I thought she was really good.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so maybe we can do that show. But you guys let us know. You guys can let us know. The Morlocks were underground creatures that ate humans in Time Machine. Oh, she said, okay. I once told my mom, okay. The Morlocks. Oh, okay. I thought it said Molochs. That's why I didn't know what was going on. Okay, so we're probably going to wrap this up. Tatiana, do you have anything else to say? Lovely Tatiana.
Well,
my other
it was a
queen.
it was a pleasure and an honor to go on this journey with you and all you lovely folks. Hopefully, we'll be back with yet another awesome TV show that'll be groundbreaking and stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have Aaron. Aaron will be on. So Aaron is our third queen.
Yes, our third queen. He's been busy with other stuff and he hasn't been able to make it. But you know, hope springs eternal. So
absolutely, yeah. It's just it was nice when we had Romy because it was kind of fun having like another person to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, and learn new things about.
Thank you so much, you guys, for coming. So if you haven't seen it, you can check out Tatiana's in my top 20. I had a really nice compliment, Tatiana. Someone was, it was from Sarah. She was saying she loved the titles, the names of the costumes that you did. So Tatiana did that. Aaron helped with that. And Tatiana, your writing is beautiful. I really, and next time I have to get Tatiana to to check my script because I had a couple of flubs. But we might, I like this idea maybe of doing find the flub and then you'll get a prize. We could give away t-shirts or something. If you can find a flub in one of my videos. The funny thing is, one of the things I asked on one of my older videos, I have a video about Danny. It's pretty old. There's this thing she has on her corset. Do you remember this, Tatiana? She has that leather corset and then it kind of turns up. And then she also has a gold one. And she wears them when they're in, when they're in Karth. And
yeah.
I said, whoever can figure out what that thing is, let me know what it is. And someone the other day said they thought it was a taco holder. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, yes. Somebody came up with, they said it was I think probably the most logical one is it's a perch for the dragon. I thought that would probably maybe be what it was.
I thought it was like a decorative thing that would like help her if she ever had to bend down. So it doesn't like cut into her.
Yeah. Did you put that? Did you tell me that? That sounds familiar. I like. What about the taco holder though? Do you think they have a taco stand in Karth? Do you think they have a taco stand in Karth? Do you think they have a taco stand in Karth?
Sure. Bitch, please. Again, it's a desert. It looks a bit like Mexico. Way of Egypt.
It is. It's kind of like I wonder if they have fried ice cream. It wouldn't last very long. Fried ice cream. Do you guys have that at your restaurant, by the way? Is that even really Mexican fried ice cream?
We have cheesecake, fried cheesecake. Yeah? Does that count?
I don't know. Do you know what fried ice cream is?
No.
They roll it in like some kind of like crust and then they deep fry it. And then so it's still cold on the inside, but it's cooked on the outside. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. They can't possibly do it very long because otherwise it would melt, right? But I think they just do it very quickly.
Oh, hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. Oh, Sarah, we were just talking about you.
We
were just all good though. Hey, ladies, queens. Sorry, missed this. Oh yeah, no problem. We're just wrapping up. You can get fried ice cream around here. Yeah, we used to have a chain of restaurants called Chi-Chi's, which was like a Tex-Mex chain in Canada, and they used to have it. That's where I first had it, I think. So it's probably not even Mexican, but I think it's probably Mexican American, as he was saying. As John was saying. John's the barbecue king, but he doesn't have a channel about barbecuing. He has a channel about doing stuff like around the house. Like a fix-it channel, John? Yeah, rolled in cornflakes. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap up because it's 8:45 here. Tatiana, you have the same time, right?
Yeah, 49.
Okay, so Tatiana, do you have anything that you're doing that you wanted to share out with anybody? I know you're working on a design for somebody that we're going to talk about later.
Still surprised. So on the option, I said that person is gonna watch this later before they get that present. I rather not show it.
No,
But
you
maybe
don't have to. Maybe you'll share it. Yeah, maybe we can share it the next after you give it to them. Or you won't, or actually you will have to take a picture of yourself with it because are you gonna mail it to them?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so you'll have to get a good picture of it before you do that.
I will.
Or maybe that person could just come on the show with it.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay.
We can do a live stream with that person.
Yeah, but I know you sent it to me. I'm gonna have a look at it. I just haven't had a chance. Okay, well, thanks so much for everybody. So yeah, so we've got our top 20 in the description. Oh, we've got our Game of Thrones costume analysis group. If anybody wants to join, we're almost at 100 now, eh, Tatiana?
Woo,
and that's in the description.
Yeah, people are asking every day to join in. It's like, yes.
Yeah, so the word's getting out there. Apparently, Michelle Carragher lurks in that group.
Yeah, like whoa. Girl.
I know. Weird, eh? So she's.
I won't say no to an amazing embroiderer.
Yeah, and she has a book coming out too. I don't have any details. I shared it to the group, but yeah, hopefully we'll find out. Or she said that it's not going to be until next year, so we will have a wait on that one. Like Michelle says this year, but hers is going to be next year. I can't wait.
Join the Facebook group.
Oh my God, Sarah! Really? That's so awesome, Sarah. By the way, Sarah. If you can tell me, she's down. She works at I think she works at Orlando. She works at Disney or something. Ooh. Sarah, is that where you are, Sarah? Has anybody been to the new Disney, the new Star Wars Disney exhibit? Apparently, it's amazing.
Oh.
In Disneyland, maybe that's California though. Sarah can tell me. She says hello. She said I did work for Disney. Oh, okay, and it's so. Anyway, the costumes at that exhibit look amazing. They're done by I don't know if you guys, his name's Joe. He's on my Twitter, but he has a blog, like a costuming blog that he does. That's sort of how I ended up finding him. But he designed all the costumes. So one guy designed all the costumes at the Orlando exhibit for Star Wars. Isn't that cool? Wouldn't that have been an amazing job to do? Yeah. And they all have backstories, like all the staff there with the costumes, they all have backstories and stuff. So, but the costumes for the cast, she says are so awesome. So it's Tyranny of Style. Does anybody know that blog? Tyranny of Style? That's Joe. He is the costume designer behind that. Because one of the girls was wanting to get a job illustrating, and I said, "Oh, why don't you hit up Joe? He works at Disney. Maybe he can get you a job." So I don't know what happened there, but
give me a job.
Yeah, well, once you're done school, I'll hook you up. I don't know him that well, but he's really nice. Like I've chatted with him on Twitter. He's really nice. I mean, normally when people get to a certain stage, they don't talk to you, but he does. So,
Yeah.
Okay, my darling. Bye, everyone. I want to say goodbye. Thank you. Thanks, Sarah.
Bye, people.
Oh, she says, yes, I follow him. Such a cool insight into costuming for Disney parks. Yeah. Bye, Angel Over. Bye, Sabina. Bye, John. Bye, Heather D. Bye, Heinz. Bye. I got it. Bye, Vanessa. I don't know if Vanessa's still here. Bye, everyone who is here. Thank you so much. Happy Monday. And I'm going to work. So I'll work on my video. Tatiana and I are going to work on our video and I'll let you guys know. And we'll be in the group if you ever want to chat with us. Okay.
Also look out for top 20 Game of Thrones armor.
Yeah, we're going to work on that too. Yeah. I know it's number 1. No, I don't. I have no idea. I have no idea. It's going to be, I don't know. That's going to be a hard one. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Well, maybe we'll do some polls and you guys can help us with that. Okay. So bye, everybody. Talk to you later.
Bye, darlings. Ciao.
Or I should play here. Let me play the thing here, Tatiana. You can play the extra. Wait. See if I can find it here. Okay. Tatiana, you can sing to your. Is it working?
No, I don't see it.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, wait. Maybe I have to go from here. Okay, there. You want to sing or? Oh wait, I don't have it on. I had it on you. Oh well.
Fail.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
That was funny. I didn't have it on. Oh wait, hold on a second. I'm having problems with my cursor. That's what the problem is.